Gonna change the world
And warm up
with my hockey stick.
vocals
Gonna
going.
make a real difference.
Feed the poor and heal the sick.
Woo! Back. We're back.
It's a good day.
It's actually a fantastic day.
Some nice weather we're
I'm
getting
feeling
here.
good.
I saw a comment saying I need to get a little closer to the mic, so
Oh, that is
Well,
true.
you tend to. This is Chippy. Right? He tends to drift.
So I'm
like
gonna
this,
lock in, like,
back and
right
forth,
here.
back and forth. Right.
No, Hayden was pointing that out. It's because you initially start speaking into the mic, but then you drift
then I
back.
flow so much.
You
and
really
I
explore the
flow.
room.
Yeah,
So-
it's hard to. Yeah.
When you're talking, be here, and if you want to take a break, you can go back and move around a little, and then come back when you want to speak.
The best part when editing the podcast is when Chippy's talking quietly back here and then yelling into the mic.
Yeah.
Giving you a job.
Yeah, I'm like listening through the pod and it's like just going up and down the
Oh, yeah.
wavelengths.
I'm gonna be a little more
I
dialed,
am
think.
I am double Puck Daddied up today. I got the Puck Daddy shirt and the
Sucks.
oh no wait, I don't have the Puck Daddy hat. I'm sorry, just single Puck Daddy today.
Single puck daddy.
I wanted to rock that, but I got the
Oh,
Martin's barbecue.
oh, what a great
hat
spot
from
in
Nashville.
Nashville.
eh?
Yeah.
Nashville.
Dude, that is one of the best barbecue joints you can go to for sure. Let's start it off positive. By the way, I actually appreciate everyone who's picking up the merch, the Puck Daddy merch.
Oh yeah, you beauties.
All the support we're getting,
Swag.
and from Slick Rick for all the support, always dropping those super chats.
Yeah, Slick
Ricky,
Rick
super
thank
thanks.
might be the biggest legend in the game.
in the on YouTube there.
And I know, and we know Slick Rick's listening right now. So Slick Rick, keep flowing.
We appreciate you. We appreciate everyone who listens, helps support the pod, make this happen. We can't do without you guys. I want to start off positive, something new, something different.
I like
Chippy, behind the scenes, even in front of the scenes and on the scenes, always very spiritual,
present.
very spiritual. But I notice it even more behind the scenes. You're trying to find yourself, trying to navigate this crazy world. So I thought it'd be fun just to ask you to share a positive message with the world. And I also have this book that I started.
I like it.
I think in 2014 I started this book. It's called Words to Live By. Anytime something really speaks to me, I've just written it down in there. Something that I'm like, man, I want to remember that and even pass that on to my kids and my grandkids and my grandkids. So I'll read a little something out of here.
That.
But Chippy, fire it off.
You want me to start off, or do you want to read?
No. Yeah, you
want me to
start
start
with
off?
something.
Yeah, I
I'm gonna
was gonna
flip
say.
through and pick I'll pick one because I have little categories like words for happiness,
Yeah.
experience,
Yeah.
laziness,
I like that.
dreams. Right? It's like depends what you want to. Right? I have learning.
Yeah.
Right? But I mean, what's really speaking to you right now? Because I do the same thing. Something is really affecting me, and then like I find this sort of word or passage where I'm like, man, yeah, that really resonates with you. But it changes, month by month. Something new is like helpful to you. So I'll share what's helping you.
Yeah.
What's a good positive message today?
Yeah. So actually, the last probably 3 weeks or so, I've been writing poetry every
that.
day. I wrote a poem this morning before I came on the pod.
Love it.
I forget what was it. Gotta.
Do you name your poems? Sorry. to
Yeah, it's
interrupt.
gotta be the breeze, or what was it? Gotta. Oh, it was such a good hook. I wrote a song actually. It was a hook for a song. It was something breeze. Gotta let the breeze blow.
No.
It was be with the breeze. What? Oh, it was such a good hook. It was so good.
That's what I'm saying. This is why it's important to write things down,
I
right?
know,
But you
it's
you
written
have
down.
it written
I have it
down.
written down at home. It's in the journal. But
Isn't that crazy though? Because like you've probably had like these really profound thoughts,
yeah,
and you're like, oh wow, and then like 3 hours later you get home, and you're like, what was that?
I
Right?
know,
And like
yeah,
you want to remember it, and then it
I
leaves
know.
you, and you're like, no.
So I got my notes. I got my notes on my phone that I've been writing a lot. Like, yeah, I've just been doing a lot of like getting back to a lot of writing, and like for me, it's just been trying to eliminate a lot of stimuluses from my life, like junk food,
That's great.
just all that, just any type of drug, and just be like, yeah, just see if I can just get in tune with myself again. Like that's where I was like last year, where I was like just running every day, and I was like writing, and I really knew I felt like I knew who I was.
Yep.
Kind of fell off that a little bit, and I'm like, all right, I want to get back on just the writing and the poetry, and then it's actually been the music that's been like super. Like, I could sit and do music all day. Like
That's great.
I could sit in a studio and make music all day long.
It's
like
a great
that-
way to express yourself, right?
Oh,
And I think that's
so
maybe
dope.
what you were lacking
Yeah.
early on.
Yeah,
It's
well, it's like I
expression.
express myself in a certain way. Like I express myself in a goofy way, and like through the videos, but like
Like the TikTok
music's a-
skits and stuff.
yeah, music's a different side and a different, more deep, like a deep side, and like I don't know, like just like a purposeful side.
What is it? Because with music, that connects people. You know what I mean? Like you could say something.
It's vibrations, it's frequency,
It's-
and that's
it's
all
wild,
we are.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Like you can say something and it's not going to get the same results as if you sang it. Like you sing a song and people listen to that same song a million times in a row. You know, like the same song. There's timeless songs that will never go
Well,
away.
it's like rhythm, it's flow. It's like your body like wants to move with like frequency. Like that's all we are is like
It's because music is universal.
yeah.
Language isn't, right?
Yeah.
The rhythm and the beat.
So if you're just talking something, it doesn't hit as hard as if you're singing it because it's not universally accepted as like.
But I mean, I'm only listening to English songs. I
Yeah,
guess.
But like
But
a
if you
singing,
heard,
like,
like,
ah,
Despacito,
Yeah, that's true.
right? That's a good example of one you can't understand a single word they're saying, but
Feel
you
it.
listen to it because
Feel
it's sang in a good way.
oh,
It's
yeah.
got the layers. That's
Yeah.
it. The layer. Yes, it's a positive message, and it's sang in a certain way, so you're connecting with the message and also the rhythm, and it just helps it. I think it makes it stickier, right? Like you can remember it more. You can repeat
Well,
it.
if you understand the language that it's sang in, then you can feel it in a deeper level because of the lyrics.
and
Like great songs have good lyrics, good songs
I
have
think
good music, but
I think in a way you're also appreciating the skill. Like it is harder to make a good song than just to say something profound. If you say something that's profound or like, really speaks to someone, really connects with people, you sing it, you add that music. That's a lot more difficult. So in a way, like people celebrate when people do hard things.
Yes.
Right? That's why like we cheer for certain hockey teams or basketball teams or whatever, or like you cheer for the Olympics. You understand that someone is attempting to do something that's extremely difficult, and when they achieve it, you feel good,
Yeah.
even though you're not a part of it at all.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say, and I'd say the music's like a very like real thing. So the more vulnerable you can get with yourself, the more it's gonna connect deeply with other people.
Mhm.
So like, but like being able to like be vulnerable and like, yeah, like I made a song the other day. It was like I've been feeling so down, I've been feeling so up. The scars just make it all better. Wouldn't change it for a thing or something like that.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Yeah, like just like that kind of stuff. Like that's just how I feel. Like I've been up, I've been down, I've been like living a life. Like everyone goes through these ups and downs, and I think being able to like express it and being able to get it out and kind of allow other people to know it's like yeah, like I'm going through the ups and downs too. You're not alone type thing. It's like yeah, like being able to put that into words is like not easy. So it's like if you can do that, it might open up someone else to listen to that and be like, hey, like I feel the same way, or like I wasn't able to put that in words myself, but you were able to do it for me.
Yes.
And when I listen to your song, it's like you are like know who I am.
Yeah, you're speaking for like 1,000 people or 1,000,000 people,
Yeah.
right?
And that's like I had that happen with my buddy Oliver. He was making music, and I was in the studio, and he was like writing about like relationship or something like that, and it was like holy, like I had the exact same
Right.
experience.
Shared
And
experience.
It felt like his experience was obviously different than mine, but
Yep.
it felt like I was like those words relate to my situation as well, and I was like that's cool.
The
Like
thing with the music and movies and YouTube, all these things, you tend to want to relate to them, so you can put yourself either in their shoes or relate whatever you're watching to yourself.
Yeah.
So the things that really resonate with you the most are the things that you deeply feel related to.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's the exact same situation or not, you can apply it. That's like in movies when someone loses a child or something,
Oh man.
like stuff like that.
Instant
It's like,
tears for me.
yeah,
Dude, I used to never cry or get emotional. I didn't get teary-eyed or anything. I'd watch movies, like, cool, good movie, right? Right when I had kids, something changed in me, and now I'm watching Pete's Dragon and crying. Like trying not, right? I'm just wiping away tears
Yeah.
during like these
Right,
these
'cause-
parts where it's like this
Yeah.
kid like misses his dragon and he's like getting emotional. I'm like, oh, right? I'm just sitting there getting teary-eyed. I'm
well,
like,
yeah,
why?
it's like but it's like if you can get like emotional, like yeah, like that's what like some of these songs like like the one verse was like punished to the core. I've been punished to the core, lower than the floor. Like,
Yep.
that's just like that's what for me that's what depression was. Like you're just
Yeah.
lower than the floor. Like you're so low and you're so down, and it's like but then getting out of that. So then I had to open up my mind, I had to open up my eyes, and it's like that was kind of like the verse with it. So being able to like take, okay, I remember when I was like down in the dumps, I'm not there anymore. But then being able to go back into that zone
Mm-hmm.
and like the emotions of that zone and being able to depict it but once you're not in it anymore type thing. Like I've gotten out of that, but I can go back into that emotional state because I felt that before.
Yeah.
And be able to being able to put that into words somehow because it's a feeling. It's hard to put feelings into words. Feelings.
Oh yeah.
It's so being able to take a feeling and put it into words is like I think that's the art, and I think that's the poetry aspect of what I enjoy so much is like taking a feeling and how can I depict it in words because feelings aren't depicted. It's feelings are something you can't see, touch, or
Right.
right.
So I think it's a way of like putting your trust in whoever's listening. Like you're putting a part of yourself out there.
Oh, that's tough, man. Like I've thought about writing poems and songs, and like I guess in a way like too scared to even do it just for myself. Like even if no one sees it, like I feel like I still feel that like vulnerability, like you talk about, where I'm like, oh, it feels like I'm opening up and I don't want to or something.
Yeah,
Which is
I think it's
interesting.
I think it's difficult for men to do that. Like I think, like I don't think, like poetry is like a very masculine trait. I don't. One of my biggest inspirations are like one of my favorite artists was Jim Morrison.
Yeah.
And I actually have one of his books. It's all poems he wrote.
Nice.
And I'm just like he let me into his world. And
Yeah.
like, I'm like, holy, he's so, like the poems he was writing. I was like, that's so similar to the way I was thinking.
Right.
Like talking about the universe, talking about existence, talking about, you know, just what life is, like asking questions.
Yeah.
So like that's like for me with the poetry, like just, you know, I got to ask the right questions. I had another song where it was like, it's like I watched a Jim Carrey documentary and it was like,
Oh, yeah.
ask for what, like, don't be scared to ask like for the craziest things.
Right.
Like, don't be afraid to ask for like these crazy things. Don't be, I forget what his words were, but it was like, a lot of people aren't crazy enough to ask.
Right. Dream big.
Yeah,
Right.
they aren't crazy enough to ask. So like they're like
If you don't ask, then you're telling yourself you don't believe it's possible.
Or you're not worthy.
exactly, and then that's the biggest thing because then that could lead to failure. It leads to you not getting that, so like, you don't even bother trying, or you don't even bother making it a.
Well, that's
possibility.
that's a part of everyone, right? They want to avoid failure, avoid pain.
Yes.
I think that's
Yeah.
me, like for even like writing a poem or writing a song or something like that, even if I'm not even sharing it with anyone, I don't want to do it because I want it to be good. And I'm afraid that it won't be good. So I don't even want to try to
The biggest failure is not trying.
Dude,
like,
dude.
but I don't want to like sit there and be like, I am so fly.
No,
I
it's-
went to the
it's-
sky
no,
like a
it's-
butterfly. Oh, so
That's
like, I
so-
don't want to
that's-
look at that and be like, this is
You
junk.
gotta sit. So I found with the poetry, you gotta sit there
Yeah.
and you gotta actually, how are you feeling right now? So like some of my poems are like up.
Yeah.
Some of my poems are very like, very up and very confident and other poems are very like, it's just how you're feeling in the exact moment. It's like being able to sit there with your pen, and I was just sitting out on the back deck, and I was feeling the wind. So
Yeah.
it was like, and then I wrote the song about the breeze, and it was
Dude.
like,
Yeah.
gotta let the breeze come to me. I forget.
I like that.
I forget.
I think the key to unlock, like if you want to share more and open up and like not share it, just like write it down on a piece of paper and then throw it away. Right. So then like
Your journal, bro.
but like then the wife finds the journal and starts reading it and like, what is this?
Crazy, and no one should ever open.
Oh, but
open up
it
someone
might
else's
happen,
journal.
right? So it's like if
Yo,
you're
hide
too
it then.
scared, just write it down and throw it away. Write it down, throw it away.
I low key want people to open my journal up. Like
Yeah.
I told my dad, I was like, if anything ever happens to me, open this journal up and you
Yeah.
can know who I am. And I think that's the thing I like with the music is like, I don't have any songs released, but I'm like, I probably made like 200 songs, like
Crazy.
just sitting there. And I'm like, if I ever pass away or I ever gone, I was like, yo, go into that Veloco and you'll actually know who I am. 'Cause I think that's the scariest thing for me is no one ever knowing who you are,
Yeah.
like, no one knowing who the real you is.
I think I got to get into this because like I have so many positive messages and things.
Oh, you'd be great
like,
at. You'd love it.
and I'm just like I just never share them because I just think everyone else already knows them too, right? And then sometimes I hear like I'll see like a video and someone's sharing something. I was like, yeah, it is like and like people are really connecting with it, and I'm like, yeah, this is exactly how I feel. But I'll never like say it out loud. I guess I kind of just maybe live by example more than
like, it's like
preaching or something. But
yeah, well, it's like it's just not even. It's just like for like the poetry is like so just like healing. I don't
Yeah,
know. I find it so because I talk about sober. Like maybe like one poem is sober. I'm trying to get sober, so I'm gonna write about a relapse. Like I wrote like, you know what I mean, and it's like how I'm feeling after the relapse, how I'm gonna get over that relapse.
Yep.
Like being vulnerable, being real with yourself. I think that's what the poetry is.
dude,
It's
yeah,
like,
it helps you connect to yourself.
yeah, like it's like you can write a poem about manifesting. All right, I've got to be careful what I say because these words are spells. So be careful what you cast. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like just like a poem like
Interesting.
that. Like, you know what I'm
Interesting.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
and then you can actually really get it onto paper what you're trying to accomplish. Like, so you get like getting the words, but then doing it. I was actually had this conversation with my buddy the other day. It was like poetry is like a different level, or like making songs is like a different than journaling. You could just go and start by just writing.
Yeah.
I would just write. Okay, I woke up today. I woke up at 9 o'clock. I felt this way. I went on my phone when I shouldn't have, but now I'm writing, and that's a good thing. And so you start talking. You like talking how you write, and then the poetry is another level of like, I feel like it's a higher level of consciousness, because not only are you putting it into like, you're trying to like explain it yourself, but you're also now trying to like make it flow, and you're trying to add like rhyme words, and you're trying to, so it's like another level of consciousness above just like writing in a journal.
So I read this really fascinating book called Speaking Fast and Slow, and the author talks about different levels of your brain and how most people only operate on the automatic part of their brain. They don't go to the deeper part of their brain. And examples, he gave a few questions, and like you read it and you answer a question, and then he's like, well, the answer is actually wrong. And then once he shows, you're like, oh my gosh, how did why did I say that? It's because your brain wants to do as little work as possible. You try to reserve as much energy. It takes more work, more resources to go down into that deeper part of your brain. So you just spit out the first thing that comes to mind. You don't actually sit there and think. And like some people might go for an entire year on that automatic level, and then every once in a while they sit down and they're depressed because they're just living in autopilot.
They haven't gone under the surface. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
You're just scratching the surface, but you haven't gone into that. And that's what I was kind of running from the writing. Like Oliver, actually, because I would always go to the studio and I'm like, I'm not writing. Like, I can freestyle. Like, I'm really good at freestyling off the top of the dome. Like, and I would just listen to the beat and I would come up with the words as I said them. But then like Oliver's like, no, you gotta write, bro. Like, you gotta sit, think, because you gotta sit there and you gotta like be with yourself for a second and like actually try to create something meaningful. But I like, it's almost like I was running from that, where I was like, I would just go to the studio and I would just freestyle,
because you'd have the escape in the back of your mind. Oh, well, it's just freestyling, so it's okay if it's not perfect.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. And it was like,
so I feel like the poetry and the songs and all that stuff, you are forcing yourself to go to a deeper part of your brain.
100%.
You're almost going into, like when you dream and you're like, where did that even come from? Why did I think about that? That's a part of your brain right there, right?
Yes.
It's like, maybe this is going to a deeper part, and a lot of people just avoid it because they're just not comfortable in that part of their brain.
And I just found it's like, it makes you more confident in yourself. Like, I just, with the writing now, like, I'm sharing it with my dad. I was like, yo, let me read you these poems real quick, and I just want to see what you like think of them. And my dad's like, yo, like, wow, like I didn't even.
You essentially understand yourself better.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And you being able to depict it into words, like, that's rock star shit to me. Like, being like Jim was a rock star. You know what I mean? Jim was sitting with himself, writing how he felt. You know, streets are uneven when you're down. People are strange.
Yeah.
Or was it when you're unwanted? Women are wicked when you're unwanted. Streets are uneven when you're down. I'm like, that's so crazy. Like, he just lets you into his world, and it's like, wow. Like, that's just like, to me, that's like, yeah, people think it's like cringy, but it's like, no, like, that's deep soul.
It can be
that's
if
like
you don't
deep
hit
soul,
properly,
bro.
but
That's deep soul, though. It's like, once you look beyond the cringe and realize, yo, this is actually real.
Yep.
I'm being real. I don't care. Like, this is.
Yeah.
Most people aren't gonna get this real with themselves.
You have to go
They're
through
gonna
the
judge
hard
you
part
that.
to get to the good part. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
can't just start being like the lyrical genius, sharing things that are so like, revolutionary and will touch the world. You can't just start there.
Some of it's the most simple. I realize poetry is about being simple. Like, I did one about karma. I was like, oh karma, you work in funny ways. Oh karma, like, you don't let anyone get away.
The biggest difference between successful people and normal people, quote unquote, is that the successful people have failed more than right? Like, like any successful musician, actor, athlete, visionary, poet, whatever. They've had more failures than the others, because they kept trying and trying and trying until they succeeded.
They pushed through the awkward part until they got to a part where like people were in awe of what they were doing.
Yes.
And that really drives you when, people want more of like what you're creating.
Yeah.
Right. But they like, if you watched anyone in the beginning, everyone starts as a beginner. Right. I think the Bruce Lee approach is you start in the beginner phase and you're uncoordinated and just acting straight on impulse.
Yes.
You have no training, no anything. Once you start to get a little bit of training and a little bit of understanding, you actually can start to become worse because now you're thinking, right? And you have to think, and it slows you down. You're thinking through, and that's like kind of an awkward area for you, right? But once you push through that, you come to the second beginner stage where now there is no thinking anymore, but you've developed all of these skills, and they are now natural to you.
And they're real.
As you once were. You know what I mean? Like, you
yes,
start a
yes,
sport, like,
yes.
if I put you into, like, squash, you never played squash, you'd be like, oh, yeah, you'd be flowing, you'd be moving. You're not thinking at all. You're just
Yes.
doing what comes natural to you.
Yes.
Your form, your technique, all this stuff might be really off. But to you, it feels like you're really doing a great job. Someone comes in, tries to teach you, like, oh, this feels weird, this feels weird. You start playing, you're like, oh,
Now
no.
you're thinking
And now you're
about
like,
it?
I'm not,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
analyzing yourself. I'm not doing this right. I'm not doing this. You go into the room and you start practicing things, and it feels wrong to you. It doesn't feel right. But then eventually you come through, and now you're in that second, like, beginner, or I don't think it's called the beginner state, but like a natural state, like a child, right? And then you operate once again as just like a complete free flow. But
Well, so you get in your bag.
trained.
Like, you get in your bag. Like, once you start doing it, it's like, now it's like, oh, I can, like, speak to people.
yeah,
It's like, and
yeah.
I know you're listening. It's like, it's a crazy power, because it's like, we made a song. Like, sometime we were like, we're going to make an arrogant track. Like,
Oh yeah.
we were just like, I'm just going to make an arrogant one. Like, I don't even, like, that's just,
Yeah.
that's the vibe we're on today. And it's like,
That's the ego.
and it was like, you
Everyone
got,
has an ego.
like, I was like, I got, I think the song was, I got the light back. You don't like that. You tried to break me down. I was lost, but now I'm found.
Yeah.
Deeply rooted to the ground. Sorry, you can't come around. We're having too much fun now.
Cool.
You know what I mean? And the
Cool.
person
that.
that knows that's a, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, if the shoe fits, wear it, and they're gonna listen to that and be like, oh, is he like, who's he talking to? Like, what's that? And I was like, yeah, that's like, those were that's truth though. Like, that's like my truth, and it's like, that's the thing where you can express yourself, and like, yeah, like, I got my life back. You don't like that. Like,
I
that
like
can
that.
mean
That's cool.
that can mean so many things, right? Like, it
Oh,
can be,
yeah.
like, an ex partner, like,
Yep.
an ex friend, or like, you know what I mean? Like, and the people like looking over at you doing stuff like different, and like they'll watch you, but they're not gonna say, "Yo, good job." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're just watching you, right? There's
Yeah.
like so many people, and that's what I find weird about these like Instagram stories, where like people will just like watch you and never like say anything, but like they just watch you, and you can see them tuning in your stuff, watching what you're doing. And it's like, they're not saying, yo, good job, but they're not saying
Yeah.
they're just like lingering, and it's like,
You know what?
and then you
though?
can speak to them with the poetry. You can be like, and then it's like, oh, I can see you watching me. Let's keep tuning in.
I don't know,
We're-
man.
we're gonna
It
keep
could
getting
just
wild.
it could just be habits, because like I love like Barber and you and Nasher and
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
all
yeah,
these
like-
guys, and I will watch these posts and I will absolutely love them, but I won't double tap and hit the like button because
But if
I
it's
just
someone, like you're not friends with, like, it's like you've had a bad falling out with, and they're still,
Oh, I
you
see
know,
what you
you know what I
mean.
mean?
Yeah.
They're still tuning in. They're still tuning into your life, and it's like, and you can like speak to them in the song, because they're gonna listen to it.
right.
You know,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Because like I'll watch people's stories and
Yeah,
like,
like,
I don't always
like everyone's-
engage,
yeah.
but I'm like things can connect with me and I really enjoy it. And then when I meet that person, I personally tell them how much I liked this or how awesome a certain thing. But I never left a comment on their video about it. I didn't even like it because I just
feel like
scroll, you know what I mean?
feel like in terms of like digital engagement with people,
Yeah.
at least for me personally too, like I often don't leave comments or likes or
Yeah.
anything like that, because to me it's not a sincere thing. It's
Fair. Yeah.
like I'm more likely to comment on a Sportsnet post because I just
Yeah.
want to
Oh,
say
yeah.
something funny.
yeah.
But like I'm not leaving a comment on like a friend or
Yeah,
whatever when
yeah.
it just doesn't come across as sincere, right? I'm like, I want to tell them next time I
Exactly.
see him,
Yeah,
how was that
that's
trip?
facts.
I saw
That's
it, it looked fun.
Yep.
Like, but I'm not gonna be like, wow, what a great trip. Good job.
But it's also, sorry, I just come in here because like I found like I had to delete my real name, my real account,
Yeah.
just because like it was got so weird, because it was like I got all these people that don't even really know me anymore. They're still following me. Why do I? And I'm like, I'm posting on the story so they can see it, and I'm like, I don't even care what they think. I don't even care what they're. Why am I posting on here just to like give people an update that I don't care about? Not that I don't care, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just like, we're no longer friends. We haven't seen each other in 10 years. We haven't spoken
Fair.
words.
Yeah.
Why do I care what these people think, or why am I posting? So I got rid of my actual personal account. And if anyone's trying to do content, like, this is how you do it. Like, you get rid of your like, you have to create like a new persona or a new thing. Like, you make a new account, and people are only going to follow you who want to see your stuff.
Yeah.
And that was like the most freeing thing for me, because I was like, I'm just going to post on this account, and if you won't, like, I'm not going to post it on my old one where it's like, I got all these people from high school that I'm like, I don't like, it's not that it's just like, we're not like, why am I posting for you to see that? You don't want to see that stuff. So making a new account and then people will only follow you that want to see your stuff,
Or that want to hate you.
or that want to hate you. And
There
you're
are
like,
some
but that's
people
fine.
that
But you're
follow-
choosing. But you're
Yeah,
choosing.
yeah.
But you're choosing. I'm not gonna like now.
Some of your haters
I
are biggest
couldn't-
fans.
I started posting like videos on my normal Instagram account. I'm like, yo, I got all these people I don't even know anymore. Like, why am I posting this for
Fair.
them? Where I was like, let me just go make a new account.
Yep.
And people are gonna go over there, and then you can also see the ones that, because I put it on my story, I was like, go follow, like,
Yeah,
I
the
was
ones
like,
that came over.
yeah, the ones, and there's like
true
no
fans.
one came over, right? No one comes over, and it's like, oh, okay, this is like, yeah, no one's actually out here trying to support, and it was like freeing to make a new account where it's like, all right, now I'm just gonna go post this. People can come vibe out if they want to see it.
Yep.
But I'm not gonna force it down their throats and give them something that, you know what I'm saying?
Fair. Yeah, no, it's
Because I'm gonna be posting a story every single day, and I know it's
Right.
gonna annoy you guys. So
that's a good plan.
yeah,
All right, let's wrap this up with a positive, or not, it doesn't have to be positive. What's a message to the world?
I would say the world is weird. I am too, and we're all weird. And just
Love it.
allow yourself to be weird.
Yes.
Allow yourself to be different, and I think that was just the truly most freeing thing for me. It was like, I am a weirdo, and I absolutely accept it. And
It's 100%, man. Everyone's trying to like, they feel like if they are like everyone else, then they'll fit in and be accepted. But like, your true friends accept you for who you are.
yeah, it's when you're doing
And-
weird stuff. It's when you're doing weird stuff with your buddies. You
And,
know, like,
and let's be honest, like if you got a friend that is just like plain Jane, never really has any quirks or anything, they're just not as exciting.
yeah,
you love the
you
friends
love
that have
the
the
guys that are a
quirks.
little weird and they're a little off, and they do.
Exactly.
And you're like, oh, like that's what makes life interesting, and like
That's
Yeah.
what makes them them.
Exactly. You know, be you, because you know there's only one of you. Everyone else is taken. Is that how the saying goes?
Yeah,
that's a
literally.
good one. Yeah,
be
yeah.
you. Everyone else is taken.
I have a message. It's a bit different, light, but
Love it.
it's easy to be kind to people when you're feeling up, but the best time to be kind to people is when you're feeling down.
That's hard.
I agree with that.
And I have a bit of an experience with that this past weekend or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I went to Nashville.
Yep.
My girlfriend Shannon, she got us a trip there for my birthday.
What a beauty.
Yeah, so we enjoyed the food, great food. We went to the football game, my first NFL game. It was electric. Got some stories about that as well. But long story short, the flight back, we had a connecting flight, but our flight to get to Miami, where the connecting flight was delayed like 50 minutes. Ended up missing the flight.
Hold on, I'm just going to interject here.
Yeah.
You went from Nashville to Miami.
I know, it's so dumb.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah. And this
Dude,
is
that's supposed to be a 3-hour flight. Toronto to Nashville direct.
yeah.
You saved like $50.
Well,
take the-
no, because the direct flights, they cost like $1,000 more per person.
1,000 more.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
probably crazy like that.
Sometimes you can get a direct for only like $100 more. And when I was younger, I would find the cheapest flight and book it. And then I realized I just spent like 16 hours flying when it could have been 4. And my time is worth
Yeah.
more, and I would pay the
Yeah,
extra
yeah,
$100.
yeah.
But 1,000, yeah, okay, 1,000 is crazy.
Yeah, so that's how we ended up in that situation, and it was planned through American Airlines was the ones who set up that connecting flight, and we only had 13 minutes to get from one end of the airport to the other, and I booked it, ran there. Guy looks me in the eye as he's walking away, goes down the elevator or whatever. Like I was yelling, I was like, hey, we're here.
yeah.
And he just looks me in the eye, walks away.
No.
So then we had to go and try to rebook. They sent us back to the gate, like, no, they should let you on. And then the guy's like, I've never seen you before.
Wow.
So this was like, I was like, oh man. So that was like the start of like probably one of the worst experiences traveling I've ever had, because
Fair.
that was the last direct flight to Toronto from Miami. So I had to we did a connecting flight through Charlotte on the way back, but the flight from Charlotte to Toronto wasn't until 6 a.m.
Oh,
So we had to spend the night in the airport.
no.
So anyway, it's like one bad thing after another
So
bad
what
thing.
did you do in the airport?
Well,
Like kicking up? You
Is it an okay
some
airport? 'Cause
food,
Some
like,
airports
where-
are nice, like the
how'd
Chicago
you,
airport.
how'd you make a time out of this? Because obviously that's not ideal, but
yeah. So the kicker is that on our original flight back, they made us check our bags, and we had just carry on, but they made us check them.
Yep.
And we were in, like, they made us do it at the counter, so I didn't remember to get our car keys out of one of them. So then we were like, we're flying there, it's delayed, we miss our flight. We're like, are our bags going with the flight that we're supposed to be on, or are they here? They ended up being there, but in order to get them, you have to go to baggage claim, which is outside TSA, and it was at 12 in the morning, so they were closed.
Yep.
So we went to go get our bags. they weren't there. We had to put a request in for them to go, this whole big kerfuffle.
Yeah.
And they say, like, yeah, it'll take at least 2.5 hours and there's no guarantees.
Oh, no.
But we're stuck in
Rough.
baggage claim, can't go back into the airport because TSA is closed.
Yeah.
And, like, so we're just, like, down. We're exhausted. Like, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to be nice to people still, right? Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
I
Oh,
know,
yeah. That's
I
good.
know that getting mad at them isn't going to do anything. There's other people that are in the same scenario. They're like yelling and
100%.
screaming at him, saying like, "You're
And-
lying."
and they're just working there. You know what I mean? Like they want to
Yeah.
like they can't wait for their hour left on their shift. They're like they don't want to deal with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what like it's
Oh.
like you got to be nice to like everyone working. It's like they don't want to be there.
Here-
Like,
here's
they
my-
don't want to take this from me right now. Like I don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw a little North Star. How I kind of guide my reactions. Is it helping or hurting? Is this gonna help things or hurt things? And I always feel like whenever you're angry, is it really helping anything?
No.
Most of the time, it's not. Most of the
Yeah.
time, you getting angry is not making things any better, and that has helped me stay very like relaxed. I'm a little more of a stoic personality, but
A little too relaxed when we're down 13-5, and you're laughing, and I'm
we'll,
like,
we'll talk
this
about
is-
that later.
yeah,
All
we
right,
will.
carry on, Aiden.
Yeah. So I'm going into this baggage claim office or whatever you want to call it, front desk, down in the dungeon of this baggage claim, and it's 1 a.m. at this point.
I'm there with you right now, just so you know. I'm here with you.
But I go in, I'm waiting in line or whatever. I come up to the guy, I'm smiling. I'm like, I've had a hell of a night. I'm just wondering like what I have to do to get our bags because we have our car keys in there, and I don't necessarily trust our next flight to get them there.
You're
And if we
holding
don't
back
have them, we
tears. You're
can't
holding
get
back
home.
tears. Just what? What do I do to get my bags?
Yeah.
Please, sir.
So I'm being nice to the guy or whatever,
Before
and
I
he
snap.
he explains in as monotone as a voice as he can about that it's a 2.5 hour wait and that it's not guaranteed. So I'm like, okay, well we have nothing else to do. We can't go back in the airport, so we're waiting. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to
Well,
myself,
you hate to hear
man,
that it's not guaranteed. Like you're just like I don't like to hear that.
I
Just
know.
don't tell me that right
Yeah.
now. Like
yeah. So it was not ideal, but I'm sitting there with my girlfriend Shannon. We're kind of down in the dumps. You can't sleep like. You can't really sleep because we have to look. They could bring out our bags at any moment.
yeah, you're also in an airport. It's not your environment. You know what I mean? You can
Yeah.
fall asleep, and then you got some. You know what I mean? You're
But I'm thinking to myself that, well, at least we're together. Like Shannon and I didn't end up on different flights or something like that. And there's people like I see workers. They're all doing their thing. I'm like kind of assessing like who's important in this role
Yeah,
here. Like who
like-
can I talk to and be nice and might get something out of. So I'm like thinking like, oh, well, I could ask one of the workers that are going back there. I'm like, hey, do you mind? But like, no, they're probably like busy. I don't want to inconvenience them. So I see this lady and she's kind of going back and forth, but she's always in this vicinity. She never goes to the back where our bags are supposedly sitting.
Yep.
And I ask her, look, do you know kind of, or actually, I think I kicked it off as like, excuse me, ma'am, you look like you're doing a great job tonight.
Start with a compliment.
Yeah.
yeah.
Butter
get
'em
her-
up first.
Get her
Yeah, and
smiling,
then she's
yeah.
so then I explained to her the situation was like we put in a request for our bags, but I'm not. They said it's a minimum 2.5 hour wait, which is fine. I'm just not really sure what's the deal here. Are there people back there, or has everyone gone home? And she's like, there's people, but their primary focus right now is to get the bags from the planes, bring them out for people that are like just arrived, right? And like I explained the whole thing, I was like, we got our car keys in there, like we're kind of at a loss. Like, is there anything you can do or whatever? And she's like, no, not really. But like, she was really nice, and I was really nice, smiling, like relating to her. And then like we waited for another hour, and I guess she came back over to me, and she's like, do you have your bag tag?
Oh, nice.
Whatever. She's like, I don't have anything to do right now, so I'll see if I can find anything.
What a
And
nice
then she
lady.
went and she found her bags.
Oh, what a
Right?
hero.
Came
And that's
back,
what happened. If you
yeah.
screamed at that lady, you went in and said like, you know,
Exactly, yeah.
who even
What's
works
going
around
on? What do you
here.
mean what do you mean they're only getting the ones that are arriving now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she would have forgotten you,
Yeah.
right? She would
But
have.
she saw us sitting there, and like every time she'd walk by, I'd give her like a little smile and a nod.
Yeah.
And like I'm just
flirt-
trying not to
little
fall asleep.
flirtatious?
but-
Ah,
No, not at all. Just like friendly. You know, I'm sitting there with Shannon, like
it's
like an older lady.
that's yeah. The kindness goes a lot farther.
Yeah.
Than
So
anger.
that's why I said
Yeah.
the advice of it's easy to be kind to people when you're feeling up,
Yep.
but it's more beneficial and it'll bring you up if you're kind to someone
Oh.
when you're feeling down, right? Because they're gonna be nice back, and it's a good feeling.
Let me tell you, having an angry 6-year-old. When Mason was younger, he used to like battle us. Like he would get in this state and he would just do anything he could to make us angry. And on the car rides, it was the worst, right?
Gotta love kids, eh?
Oh, he starts by like throwing like food or something, and
Oh, I would just, you gotta tell me you stop that right now.
you do.
You stop that right now, son.
and that's what you do, right? And then he starts. Can you stop that right now?
You stop it.
You
No, you stop that.
You stop that.
You stop.
No, I hate you, right? And he starts going, right?
What
And then,
did you say?
And then, yeah, what did you say, right? He brought you in, right? When what did you say? Now he knows he's got you. It's a battle. He's trying to have this like power struggle
Well, then
going on, right?
you scare the shit out of him.
Oh,
What did you just say?
exactly. And then he starts crying.
You start barking. Yeah,
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 exactly.
You
And then he starts
barking at him.
crying and kicking
Start
the
barking
seat.
at him. Say, that's not.
He starts kicking the seat.
Yeah.
He's
Power dynamic shift when I start barking.
right, and then he starts swearing, right? All the
Then you start swearing even louder at him. You scare the
This is
shit out of
great
him.
advice from Jimmy.
Scare the shit out of him.
and then eventually,
back.
right? So
Never let your kid do something that would make you not like them.
right.
That was the Jordan Peterson
Oh my gosh.
12 Rules of Life.
So then there's the problem is that after you go down that road for like 10 minutes, then you both feel terrible. Your kid is sitting there
Crying.
weeping.
You swore at
right?
your
You
kid.
emotionally abused your 6-year-old. And you're like, what am I doing? Why did I get so angry? Like,
He's got to learn, eh? It's tough love sometimes. We need that. This
anyways,
beef jerky's looking at me in the face. And
I
I'm
know
like,
we're gonna get into it.
Okay.
Speaking of,
Look at this. Look
know,
at this little guy.
a little island, yeah, I know. So the it's harder to be nice to someone when you're low, right?
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like it was those moments where like he is being very rude. We should be getting him in trouble. We should be correcting him. And instead of like barking at him, instead of like,
don't react.
give him a smack on the butt, right? Instead
Yeah.
of like these feelings that you get,
Spank.
right? I just stop. I take a deep breath and I say,
Hey.
yep. And I just I give him a hug and I say, I love you.
Oh,
Right?
love trumps everything.
sometimes, not every time. It depends on the personality. If you have the right kid, that
pushing you
might
away.
yeah, exactly. But sometimes he would just melt and everything would stop and it would be over.
Cry.
Right? He'd weep a little, right? And
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, okay, he just needed like he's just had a bad day and he just needed that.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And oh, did
I need
feel
one of those hugs, Jer.
ah, come here, Kimmy. But yeah, sometimes that would just be what it takes. It's like to not get into that power struggle that like
Yeah.
everything gets worse and worse and worse and worse until it explodes, and then you both feel terrible. Like he feels bad and I feel bad, and then he hates me and I'm feeling.
I couldn't
angry towards
imagine
him.
being a parent.
Oh,
I
it's
couldn't
tough,
even imagine.
right?
Like,
But if you-
kids must just be.
If you recognize it and just go the opposite direction, do what they're not expecting, show some love.
Yes.
And then afterwards, I'm like, oh, that felt way better than yelling more.
And it's honestly the same thing on the ice. Like I found now instead of like I don't chirp. Like I used to chirp. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I used to
yeah.
get like, drawn into it.
Yep.
And like I thought it made my game better, but like I don't. It would just make my game more angry, and that's when you go out, you try to crush someone, you get out of
Yeah.
the play,
Dude.
and now I just say I love it. Like people will, like chirp me, I don't even know what they're saying. I love it. I
But-
love it. They'll try to like cross check me. I love it.
Here's the thing.
I love it.
You start cross-checking, chirping, guys start coming at you, they take it personally, you have beefs. Then you get home and you just keep replaying these things in your head over and over. And then the next day you're sitting there like, oh, and you build these grudges. You're carrying that anger with you.
Yeah.
You're carrying it
It's
around
love.
everywhere you
This
go.
is the best play. When anyone's trying to say, I love it. I just tell them I love it. Like guys will be like hacking me in the back of the legs on the way up the ice. I love it, brother. I love it. I live for
You
it.
guys had a bit of a rough game last night.
Oh,
I'm guessing?
no, not last night. So
last night.
on Monday we were getting beat
Oh,
I think
my goodness.
9-3 or something like, and
I
there's
don't
still
think-
lots of game left. And talking about carrying this anger or just embracing it, right? I lined up at the face-off, and after they scored their 9th goal on us, and I said to the centerman, "Hey, how was your weekend?" He's like, "Oh, it was pretty good. How about you?" I was like, "Well,
Take them out of this situation,
just-
right?
it felt nice.
They're not gonna be mad. You're not gonna be mad if you're just talking about your
no,
weekend.
it was a Sunday night. That's what I said. I said, "How's your Sunday been?" He's like, "Oh,
Oh, this was the old paint cans.
yeah,
game
it's
that I
Sunday
couldn't-
night, right?"
I know. I sometimes do that, but then I'm like, no.
It
I don't,
felt better,
they're
man.
the-
I said,
they're the enemies.
"How's your Sunday been?" And he's like, "Oh, pretty good." He's like, "Watched a few Netflix documentaries." He's like, "What about you?" I was like, "Well, besides this, it's been pretty good." You know?
Like I
Besides
like,
getting
I
walloped
sometimes
9-4.
I sometimes do that, but then I'm like, then I can't compete as hard, and then it's
No,
like
I
you're friends
see.
with the opponent. Like I can do that. Like
But
I've
it
done.
felt better.
Like if it's your buddy on the other team, like like
I'm in the same boat as Jer. Like if we're getting pumped, or vice versa,
yeah, like
I'm not gonna be in the mode of like die hard. I'm like we're all out here.
but I'm
having a
not
good
gonna be
time.
buddy buddy either. I'm not that. I'm not gonna like. I'm not gonna be amped up
Well,
that
the
we're
thing
down
that I do is
9-3.
I'll
you
be
know what I mean?
nice- I'll be
I'm just
nice
gonna
to
not
them.
talk to you. I'm just not gonna talk to you, and
No.
I'm gonna keep competing.
When they are like winning badly, I'll be nice. I'll open them up a bit. Then they
Yeah.
let their guard down. Then I try hard
Bam!
for one shift and get a goal
Yeah.
or whatever. And then I at least feel good, like I did
Yes.
something. You
Al-
know?
Although our game last night, it was a battle.
This
And
was in
I
the Toe
was
Dragons.
not nice. Like I'm
Yeah,
not
you
chirping.
you got nasty.
I'm not
last night.
chirping, but I was playing hard, and that felt good. And they were playing hard, and we weren't like disrespecting each other. It was just like we were battling for pucks, trying to win, like trying to out muscle each other.
Yeah, like
and,
it's like finally these like we don't have like
I
a
enjoyed it.
psychopath like team like I don't know
Prison
like
puck.
it's like the prison puck's getting old. I'm not gonna lie, like these guys like just can't like if you make a move around them, they're two-handing you. It's like buddy, like I blew around you in men's league. You're not the first one that's happened to. You know,
No,
like
no.
it's like well, I mean even last night I blew around the guy. He just lays me out into the freaking board. He got a
Oh.
penalty, but
Yeah.
I was wheeling out there. I was
Oh, you were.
three points on all four. We had 4 goals. Three. Yeah.
I thought you would mention that a lot earlier in the pod. but
Jeremy
yeah.
Yeah.
Jeremy mentioned you were yelling your number out to the ref.
Oh yeah,
Every
because our
goal.
defensemen.
Got to make sure you get the stats.
Defensemen never get their flowers. When I'm anchoring this puck, I'm back ending this thing. I'm snapping it up. I'm putting it on net.
I checked the stats. You got all 3 of them.
I-
Secondary assists,
I
3.
told yeah.
I'm so surprised.
One was
I've
a
only
primary,
gotten
one
one
was a primary.
secondary assist in my life.
One
in
was a
men's
primary.
league.
Oh, one primary.
One
My
primary
bad, my bad.
to our new player,
Josh.
Josh.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
the one right on the Josh's tape.
2 goals and an apple for
goalie,
that kid.
yeah.
It's a good way to start the season.
So three pitters from the back end. Like
Beauty.
we like that.
Yeah, you were solid. You're flying out there.
And my skates need to be sharpened too.
All right, so I got to drop my positive message out of my book, The Words to Live By. It only took me 40 minutes to get there.
Let's get it.
But first, Hayden, you were talking about worried about losing your car keys and your luggage and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I flew. I made a really awesome YouTube video about this. It's called Pond Hockey in California,
hmm
right, where we found like a frozen lake
I edited that.
in the
video.
in the. Well, yeah, you helped do the social part. Yeah, so it's like a frozen lake up in Mammoth Mountain, and
I think I saw that clip. Yeah.
yeah, it was back in the
Threw
day. I
puck
did like a
across the
vlog.
water.
A vlog of like flying into LA and finding this frozen thing. They didn't know where it was. Crazy experience. So I had to bring my winter jacket to California, which is crazy. Like I was on the beach the day before.
Yeah.
We hop in a truck, drive 5 hours. Now I need my winter jacket.
Yeah. That's
Right? We're in the
crazy.
snow. So my buddy Jason Withy from Pacific Rink drops me off at the airport. See you later, buddy. Yep, see you. Grab my luggage, head out. Well, it's like it was 90 degrees. I had my winter jacket with me on. I get in this truck. It's sweltering. I take it off, chuck it in the back seat. So now I'm just going through security, just about to. And I'm like, oh, my winter jacket. I left it in Jason's truck. Whatever. I got another jacket at home. Like, I don't want to bug him. He's already left the
Yeah, yeah,
airport.
yeah.
Like, I'm not going to call him and bug him. Right? I get onto the plane. I land, get my luggage. I'm carrying my luggage out to the parking lot. And then I say, oh, time to get my car keys. And I go to reach for where I keep them. I always keep them in the same pocket of my backpack. Every time I travel, I put them in there. So I know exactly where they are. I never lose them. As I was going to reach, I was like, oh no. I was like, I put them on the inside jacket pocket.
Yeah.
So now I'm sitting there in the parking lot and I'm like, my keys are in California. My vehicle keys are in California. It's 1 a.m. That's what time we landed at like 11:30. By the time I get to the airport, it was basically 1 a.m.
hmm
And I'm sitting there. I need to drive 2 hours to get home. I'm like, am I going to take a taxi home? No, that's going to be like $500.
Yeah.
Uber doesn't go where we go. So I'm sitting there. How am I going to get home? I can't call Sammy. We got 2 kids at home. She's not going to wake up the children, put them in a car, and come and get me at the airport. So
tough.
I didn't even think about calling her. I would have been abused.
You've been just sleeping on the couch anyway.
I would have been abused by her verbally. So
That'd be a long 2-hour drive home.
oh my gosh. So I'm sitting there at 1 a.m. How do I get home? I took the bus.
Mm.
I-
Like the Greyhound.
It was like the last bus leaving. It was going from Toronto to Barrie. I took it to Barrie, and then I took a cab from Barrie back to my house, like 30-minute cab.
No way.
Yeah. Anyways,
Hectic.
know where your keys are. My mental thought, my words to live by. It's just one I picked at random. talking about like what you're thinking and your actions and all that. Good thoughts and actions can never produce bad results. Bad thoughts and actions can never produce good results. This is but saying that nothing can come from corn but corn, nothing from nettles but nettles. That's from James Allen.
That's a poem. I thought you wrote that. You not write that?
No. It's just like quotes that I've learned. Some of these things are my own like little like thoughts and but a lot of this is just things that I heard. I'm like, I want that.
resonated with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I feel this. This is important to me. I'm writing it down so that I can read through this and kind of like ground myself.
Yeah.
Like, how do I want to live my life? How do I want to act? How do I want to behave? What kind of like message do I want to put out there? If I keep on putting these thoughts into my head,
Yes.
then it reminds me to, like live how I want to live, sort of thing. So it's a good thoughts and actions can never produce bad results.
That's it.
Right.
That's
And
It's kind of in line with like, basically you are the interpreter of whether something is good or bad. Like if you interpret things as like you're looking on the bright side of things, then there's nothing bad that ever happens to you.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
that kind of
It's
way of living of
life is like 90% 10% what happens to you and 90% how you
yeah, I
react
think
to
you
it,
said
sort of
that
thing.
on like one of our earlier episodes, and that's a good way to live your life.
Yep.
facts. I like that.
Man, I'm flipping through it. So there's another quote here. I can't find exactly, but I know what it is. Basically, what's down in the well comes up in the bucket. It's
Right.
like saying like, only good thoughts and good actions can only produce good results. It's like the same thing. What's down in the well comes up in the bucket. Who you are, it eventually comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you really have to work on yourself because you can't hide and try to put on a facade and pretend.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause eventually, right. And I guess that's the thing when something happens and you're trying to like I guess it's essentially judging someone. You're like, well, I guess that's who they are because it comes out eventually.
Yes.
It's down in the well. So think about what's down in your well. Does it need any
like
work? You got to treat the water down there.
Yeah.
Right?
I have one.
All right, should we talk some hockey?
Oh,
Yeah.
we should. Here's one for Chippy from Dreams, the Dreams category. Don't be afraid of being different. Be afraid of being like everyone else.
That's facts, brother.
Be afraid of being like everyone
Be
else.
afraid to be like everyone else.
How can you be happy if you don't really express who you are?
I totally agree. That's how I'm living my life. That's how I'm guiding my North Star right now.
That's great.
And then also I got one from Alan Watts just off the top of my
Love it.
dome right
Let's
now
go.
is muddy water is best cleared by leaving it alone.
So true, guy.
Mm-hmm.
You start mixing up that water, it gets muddy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love it. Man, we just go quotes all day. Dude, that reminds me of one, if you argue with a fool from a distance, no one can tell who is who.
It's facts. It's facts.
Right?
It's facts.
I just love that imagery of like you're in a busy street and two people are just fighting. One is a complete fool, complete moron, right? Just a troll. And you, an intelligent person, sitting here just arguing, going into right.
You're
And
the
from a
same.
distance, you just both look like fool. You don't know who the.
That's it. That's it. It's like that kind of applies to like what you give your energy to.
Yes.
So it's like if you try to like, it's like someone trying to preach to people like go live, like you don't see what's happening, go live your life, like, but then you don't end up living your life because you're so interested in how other people are living
You
their
gave
life.
all your energy out.
And it's like, yeah, instead of you just like doing your thing and just like staying on your journey, you try to go and
I know. Hey,
preach to people.
so I take that principle for sure. I know Hayden wants to get to hockey
No, I'm
real quick.
I'm laughing because I got an email from American Airlines asking how was your flight.
Oh, great. Oh,
That's
great.
hilarious. Yeah, let's write the email right now.
Okay.
Craft it up.
So I've got like that stoic personality of like I don't focus on negativity. Like what's it worth? I don't want to keep that negative in my life. If I can clear that out and move on to something positive, that's more important than me rather than like winning an argument or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a prime example of this is we had a house that we were renting in the previous place where I used to live, trying to get a little extra income. We had a case of some bad renters. And I did everything by the books, and I was very open and honest and communicated. But they were basically like professional renters. They were trying to like scam money out of people. So eventually, like we had to evict them. They did not clean the place up very well. They did not pay for like 3 months worth of rent. They essentially stayed there. So when you're renting a place, you can't just boot someone out of your house.
No.
That's against their rights. So
the renters
I
have
filed all
all
the
the rights.
proper paperwork. They knew this though. They know exactly when they have to leave. They don't have to leave until you have to get them evicted, and they still don't have to leave even though they're
You
evicted.
have to go to court or
You have to get a
civil court.
sheriff,
Yeah.
and the sheriff has to come and take them out and physically remove them from the property. That's when they have to leave. They don't have to leave until that happens.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they did. They waited until the day the sheriff was going to come, and it can take up to 2 months after. So like they can not.
And in the meantime, they're not paying you.
Yes, they can basically live for free for like 5 months. It depends how long it takes the sheriff to come and do his job, right? And they knew that, and that's what they were doing. So that all gets happened. They leave the place a mess. We clean it up and all that stuff. It costs us quite a bit of money. And Sammy's like, we should sue them. We should take them to court. We should do this and that. And I was like, no. I was like, they don't have the money. We're not going to get the money out of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wasted effort.
energy.
It's too much of our energy to invest in this. And she's like, well, no, they need to know that this isn't right. And they like, we have to like, and you know what? I was like, okay. I was like, if you want to go down this route, you can. I'll support you. Like she really believes in justice, so I think it was important for her to go through that and see it through.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, for me, it's not worth focusing, like keeping these negative people in my life,
Yeah.
surrounding myself with this negative energy, and focusing my time on that. I would sooner just clear it and then focus on something that's going
Because
to
what if, yeah, like
more
exactly.
positive.
How
right?
long is that going to take to settle? What if that's your last 3 months you have on
Exactly.
this earth and you spent it
And-
trying to sue someone?
Speaking of time and money, it's going to cost me more money to go after them. It's going to take my time to go after them.
And your time's
and,
everything.
And it's not going to be a fun experience for me.
no, it's
right?
there's
So
nothing you'll lose.
Let's clear that and try to like go after something more positive that in the end is better. We ended up, Sammy was really adamant, and we're partners. So I said, okay, let's go through it. Like she was a stud at this. Like she became a lawyer. It was wild. And fast forward a few months, we're in court. We're finally gonna get Sammy's gonna get her victory. The
You can
bad
get the victory. You won't get any money though.
Oh no. So what they can do is dock their pay.
Mm.
Right? So they have to pay what they owe. It comes off of each of their paycheck every single month. You know what I mean? So like there are ways. A court.
What if they're a drug dealer?
Well, I guess they're not claiming that.
Yeah.
But like, there's a whole thing that goes through. Anyways, I'm not
Yeah.
going to too much detail, but there is ways down that road. So Sammy, like, finally going to get our day in court, and Sammy's happy. Like, we got him. We got him. The day of.
They move.
They have a lawyer too,
Mhm.
right? Which is like, how can you afford a lawyer? Just give us the money that you owe us.
Yeah.
No. So they stand up and say, yeah, my clients are claiming bankruptcy.
Yeah.
So they're bankrupt,
Yeah.
and then it completely clears everything. No debts owed to us. They filed bankruptcy. So in the end, we got absolutely nothing,
Yeah.
right? And Sammy was a little upset, right?
I bet you if you asked her about it now, she'd still be.
Oh,
talking
she's still
about it.
fired up. She's
I
still-
think
no.
I've heard the tail end of this story
Yes.
a bunch of times now.
But she came to terms with it, and this is like in my words to live by, my philosophies, right? What I follow, the things that kind of help me stay positive and understand this crazy world that we're in. Great quote is that every experience is an opportunity to learn and grow.
Yes.
And that's essentially what I said to Sam. It's like, that was a crazy 3 months. We went through a lot, but man, like we learned so much. Like you're practically a lawyer now. Like we understand people more. Like I understand that there's people that do want it. Like I was too trusting, right?
Mhm.
And I'm like, man, there are people out there that will just straight up lie to your face
yeah.
Yeah.
and try to cheat you because they know they can,
Mhm.
right? And I was a little naive going into this, and I trusted some of the things they said without back checking it. So it's like, okay, now I have a little better understanding of people. I have a much better understanding of being a landlord. I'll be a better landlord moving forward.
Yeah.
And Sammy took on that, which is awesome. Like she's like she took that on. She's like, yeah, we did learn a lot, and we are better people for it now. So it wasn't a wasted effort. It's not like, oh, we lost and they won, right? You got to think of just change the angle of like, we did win because we learned a lot.
100%.
Got the experience.
Mhm.
It wasn't the
We don't
experience
take
we
losses,
wanted.
We only we take lessons.
Yes, you only lose if you lose the lesson.
Mm-hmm.
It's quote day today. Let's get into
I'm
something.
gonna book-
Like, are we doing this jerky?
I'm gonna
Like,
bookmark this part of the first hour of the podcast is quotes.
like-
Words to live by.
Let's do this jerky.
Um,
'Cause I could use some little nibble. on that.
Unofficial sponsor, Better Bovine. These guys sent me like 3 or 4 packs of beef jerky, which I really appreciate. We love beef jerky here. It says all beef, no bull. This is Wagyu.
Where's mine?
Yeah, this looks insane.
Well, you can have a chunk.
Just one little piece.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a
You
piece.
can nibble on it.
He locked up the rest of it in his safe.
So
Jared's already eaten half the other bags. 26 grams of protein.
best enjoyed within 5 days at opening. This bag does not stand a chance.
Lasting 5
I'm gonna-
days.
It's not gonna last 5 minutes. I open this bag, it's down the hatch.
I'm not a big I don't eat jerky that much. Like,
Really?
I love beef
Okay.
jerky.
I
Yeah.
feel like I will absolutely.
Jared got a jar of it from like a local farm
Oh yeah,
a while, and it lasted
Dave's, I
like a
think?
week.
So there's different types of jerky. I
What
like the
is it?
crispy, crunchy. It's like you melt. Like you got to really work to get.
I like the chewier ones,
Yeah.
like the ones that are easier to eat.
Yeah. So this is Wagyu beef. So like a Wagyu steak.
Crazy. I've never had Wagyu.
Dude, Wagyu steak costs you like 120 bucks.
It's got the
I
marbling.
thought it was like 1,000.
No, it depends where. If you get it at a restaurant, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, at a restaurant. If you get it from Costco, you get like a steak this big, like a normal size steak, 120 bucks.
Didn't it start?
dropping that?
Did it start in Japan?
Oh, it's Japanese specifically.
Yeah.
It's like champagne has to come from France.
Yeah,
Wagyu, it has to come from Japan.
but
and
it's funny because like,
they are massaged. They massage the cows every
and
day.
it's got like the marbling, the extra
Oh,
fat, but like true Wagyu is a lot different than the one. It's like, okay, yeah, we had Wagyu burgers. They just mix like a bit of Wagyu steak in
Oh,
with the
yeah.
regular stuff,
Yeah,
and
it's got
you don't even
gold
taste the
flakes
difference.
in there too. They put a little-
So we're gonna try some of this because it's Wagyu. Like this bag of jerky, I think is like 75 bucks.
Oh my god,
Isn't that wild?
that's
No.
insanity.
That's a lot.
So each bite is like $2.
I've never been,
Two?
I've never been more.
Dude, there's like
excited.
5 pieces in here. I think it's like a $15.
Oh, you're one biting it. You're not appreciating it with multiple bites.
Let me reach in there, put my fingers all over it. There you go, Hayden. There's your piece.
The silica
Yeah,
gel.
Reach in, grab yourself a chunk. We're just gonna be chomping on the
Can I
pot.
can I catch a whiff first?
Want me to squeeze? Yeah. Oh, it's like when you squeeze the coffee beans.
Yeah,
Oh, that smells.
I can smell it.
It's only
all-
3 ingredients: salt, pepper,
I'll take in a bite.
and beef. I mean, we kind of got to eat it in the pod, no?
Yeah. Take
So big thanks.
I
to
got a
Banter
big
Bovine.
piece.
Of course you did, eh?
Yeah.
I'm gonna dump this whole thing in my mouth. I think we should take turns eating it so we're not all chewing it. Let's try to do a pod.
Chippy just ate his.
All right. I'm going to do a small piece here. Should I chew? Should I ASMR that?
No, don't please. No. For God's sake, no. How is it, Chippy?
You know what's
And you're not a
Dynamite.
big beef jerky
It's
guy?
dynamite.
it's interesting because when I think of Wagyu, you think of the marbling and the softness and the buttery melt in your mouth.
This bag's not gonna be gone.
Oh, it's gone. It's gone in 5 minutes for sure. I love that there's only 3 ingredients. The salt and pepper, that's all you need for good beef, right? But it is interesting to take Wagyu, that melt in your mouth, the fat, like the butter, and then you make it into jerky, you're pretty much eliminating a lot of the
You're
fat.
taking a lot of the fat out. You're drying
Yeah.
it out.
You're drying it,
Yeah.
but it's a good
I've
cut.
noticed immediately the difference between like I'll have like a good old Jack Links sometimes,
yeah.
right? And the difference is Jack Links is it hits you hard when you first bite it,
Yeah.
then it kind of recedes. This is the opposite. It was kind of bland when I first chewed it. Then as I let it sit a bit more, it got
Yeah.
I felt that flavor come
Taste
through.
the beef.
Yeah, it's really good.
Right. Well, that's the thing. The Jack Links is like it's pumped with preservatives, right? This is the salt, pepper. That's
Grass
it.
fed.
Grass fed beef, flank steak, salt and pepper. Wagyu.
Mm.
They got to make a cheaper one though. Like I know I get like the Wagyu. Not everyone's gonna be dropping $75 per bag. That's an expensive snack.
Yeah, that is an
Right?
expensive snack.
I actually haven't been on their site to see if they do like a non Wagyu version.
Mm.
Because that'd be great to do like a just give me the
That's
cheap
a-
stuff. Because like
yeah.
cheap beef makes decent jerky.
Let's make them the sponsor of the pod. We'll just get them to sponsor it.
Better-
We want unlimited bags of Wagyu.
Please. We'll work for jerky.
Yeah, we'll work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll work
Yes.
for jerky.
Up here in Canada,
Maybe-
we'll take what we
hey,
can
hey, that's really Canadian pod, the jerky pod.
The jerky.
get.
Oh yeah.
hmm
The jerky
Bunch of
pod?
jerks. Bunch of jerks
That's
on the
probably
mic.
the most Canadian food ever.
Mm.
We each bring our own beef jerky sponsor,
Yeah,
and it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
battle.
battle of the jerkies.
Dude, this reminds me. I gotta go to that farm down the road and grab and just stock up on jerky.
Yes, please
or
do.
hit up Better Bovine and
Yeah.
have them supply.
Mhm.
But quick story, then we'll get into some hockey stuff. Yesterday, I think it was. I almost got canceled.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Jared's like
A lot happened while I was
that
away.
was
My
Jeremy's 3 of Jeremy's websites got hacked when I was in Nashville,
Yeah.
and now apparently you almost got canceled at 2.
Mm-hmm.
You actually uploaded 2 YouTube videos that I've had done for the past month.
okay. So what's
stuff
so what's
done.
the
Yeah.
lesson you learned this week? Is obviously it's been a turmoil week.
Oh, it's been crazy. I'll go to the canceled part. So Jesse Pollock, he posted an article about some hockey player on a university team that painted a swastika on like a Jewish resource center. I don't know the full. I'm not gonna. Don't quote me on it. Like look it up yourself.
Right.
And then he got booted off the team.
Hmm.
Right. So I'm reading this article of this kid painting swastikas, and the only thing I can think is like, why? Like why is this happening? Right.
Yeah,
So
like, that's insane.
so I have like this feeling like, hey, I do not understand. I need to know why this kid did it. So I go and comment. I put why with a big question mark. And then I say, this kid like needs to explain exactly why he did this. And then like, I don't know, get some sort of education or like, you know what I mean?
Clearly doesn't know the impact of it, like the significance.
Yeah.
And
Like
if he does, then it was.
he basically needs help.
I'm not familiar with what happened because
No.
I've been away. But
Anyway, so that was my thing. Like I led with why. And then like he needs to explain why he did what he did and then have some people help him. You know what I mean? There's no place for hate.
So people took it like, why is he getting kicked off the team?
Yes. So that's the problem. Here's what I commented that.
why did he get kicked off?
Yeah,
I-
what's so
so I-
bad?
oh
What's
my
so
God.
bad about that?
It was
That's awful.
right. So I commented that, and then I just put my phone down and edited a YouTube video for like 5 hours. I didn't look at my phone again, and then like if it was like 5 hours later, I pick up my phone and I saw, oh geez, like I'm getting tons of likes and retweets and I guess anyone who read it how I meant it was liking and supporting it. But then I saw like one of the most upvoted things was like, this is such a tone deaf reply, and I'm like, huh? And then
Oh, I just can't stand.
Right?
That's
then-
why I don't get into it because of like I don't even need to like we talk about energy stuff. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't even like
oh no, I'm like
give it my energy.
I think it's important to
The tone deaf. You're so tone.
Yeah, there's a
deaf.
tone
It's like
deaf
everyone just
reply.
gonna start barking. It's like yeah.
And
So
then-
did your I want to see this comment. Did it lead with why and then you did a
Yes.
couple carriage returns and then put the other stuff?
Yeah, I put why question mark and then I put those other things. But the problem is I clicked the link, I read some of the article, I felt strongly, I commented. So when I went back and read, if you read it in the order most people would, this is really bad. It's like college hockey player gets removed from hockey team for painting swastikas on
Yeah.
right? And then my comment, which is the most upvoted, the top thing says, why?
Yeah, that's tough luck, Jerry.
Right?
That's a tough
And I'm
look.
like, oh no, now I get it. Once I went back and read it, I was like,
But is
oh.
it? We also had in the Parliament Hill. Did you see that? What happened there
No,
in our Parliament?
no.
Trudeau brought the Ukrainian president. We
Oh,
saluted-
yeah.
I mean, guys, I don't know what this world's coming to. I don't know what's going on. It's a weird world we're living in.
It's, yeah, man. It's just,
weird world we're living in.
it is.
It's so weird.
So anyways, I had to do some damage control because like people are like unsubscribing. I didn't expect this
Oh
from
my
you. Like there was
goodness.
a
They thought
few.
you supported it. I mean, it's
Well-
just like
Well, so the people who read my message, like why he needs to do this, and this, they understood. I'm questioning
Why?
what I was questioning. I'm questioning why did he, why did he vandalize and paint a swastika?
and that
right?
yeah, exactly.
But the
It's
people who just read the
completely-
title and then my why, they're like, oh, he's asking why he got kicked off the team. So, anyways, I deleted the comment, responded to other people, reposted with like, okay, guys, I was asking why, and then Jesse Pollock, he went to bat for me, and he's like, no, I know Jeremy personally. He's not encouraging hate speech and asking why he got kicked off the team. Anyways, yeah. I just feel like I don't understand why there's hate, why people have to go that way, but like, I guess not everyone has the same upbringing as me. Not everyone has the same like, people can be exposed. I guess if you're surrounded by people who have that hate, then you take it on too. Like it can be taught to you, right?
Well, yeah, taught. Yeah, it's all. Yeah, that's what it is. Like no thoughts really are original.
Yeah.
Like your words, like everything, like.
I'm trying to find that post. I want to see your comment.
I deleted it.
Uh,
Dude, I'm not even. I thought I
that's
can
why
just-
you don't even get involved, Jerry. Like that's where it's like real. Like you told me you don't like getting involved. In
I think
stuff on this pod.
Jeremy
You just
struggles
don't even give it your energy, brother.
for grammatical / sentence structuring.
Yeah.
So it can be
Like
misinterpreted.
I see
easy.
that headline and I say I am avoiding that at all cost.
Wow.
That's where I see. And I'm gonna probably tweet Beds. He's gonna snipe 40. That's what I'm gonna tweet.
But I think it's important to stand up against something you think is wrong, right? And kind of like, if you're a leader, be a
But
leader.
I think it
but
depends- it depends on
see,
who
this
you
is where we
are.
get into. It's like it's like you can't pick and choose then.
Eh.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? It's like then you might as well stand up like for everything that's wrong that's ever happened.
I
It's
know,
like you
I
can
know.
get
It's just-
involved. It's what I'm
no.
saying. You can get involved in that.
I think
where it's like,
the
or
difference.
just choose to just.
I
not
think
get
that
involved.
depending on who you are, you're able to withstand a certain amount of exposure to wrong before your inner like self needs to at least voice your opinion on it, or like do something to say like, I don't condone that. I'm not going to just stand by and be like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
In your mind, you know.
I think it's just because
it's not like you're taking a strong stance, but it's like you need to like talk to someone about it, or like, you know.
Yeah. It's basically it was an emotional response. I'm like, man,
Yeah.
why did this? Like, and it's because Jesse posted it, and I know him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I got to stand up for like Jesse too. Like he's against us, I'm against us too. It's kind of like band to get together.
Mm-hmm.
I just, my why was misplaced, and
Yeah. you need me to review your comments now.
well,
or are you just a comedian, Jer? Like, and you're really just trying to be. The comedic timing was just off, or was it?
ain't nothing funny about that, Chippy. All right.
I didn't tweet it, Jer. I didn't tweet that. That wasn't me. I didn't get involved at all. I didn't even think I needed to say anything about it
No.
because I knew already.
Yeah. Anyways, he's removed from the hockey team. He ain't playing hockey anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get into Hayden. You got some topics here?
Yeah, we can do. I had an article from Dom Lucian and Sean Gentile, I think, just talking about the Leafs and their, like, in terms of like roster composition and like the numbers, what their odds are of like how they're going to finish in the regular season, the playoffs.
Are we talking numbers and odds when they haven't even touched a preseason a regular season game yet?
Yep.
That's happening?
Yep.
All right.
That's happening.
Okay.
But I just wanted to get your guys' reactions to this. So this is a little graphic here, and it's projecting that the Leafs will finish 5th in the league with 104.5 points.
That's a fair projection.
That's kind of where we had guessed, right? That's where we put it.
Oh, they're a top 5 team. I think we were all guessing.
I think I placed them at 2.
I think I said lower. I think I said like 8th or 9th. But
Oh,
that's
yeah.
because I wanted them to be worse before going in the playoffs.
So funny. I can't even remember what I said, but I think I was like number 2 behind the New Jersey Devils or something
Yeah.
like that, or maybe like first overall.
So that was no surprise that they predicted that. It says they have a 91% chance of making the playoffs, which is 7th highest in the league.
Yeah.
And then it says that they have a 9% chance of winning the Stanley Cup, which is 6th place in terms of percentage. Does that seem...
Who created this?
Dom Lucian and Sean Gentile and others.
So Leafs have 100%
They do like a modeling of like all the players and simulate all the games and figure out how they're going to finish, right? Like
I would love to do like, you know what great is to do those types of modeling and base it on like the past 10 seasons and keep on doing these different tweaks until the numbers are very accurate. You know what I mean? Like if you're a stats guy.
The thing is with numbers is you can't like use the history as much as you would want, you know?
Yeah.
Like it is a good indicator, I guess, but if you're going back, it's like, well, the Leafs are never going to win. It's how do you put that into numbers? Because like in terms of numbers and goals for and like the amount they score, tangible, quantifiable numbers, they should be making it to the Stanley Cup final 9% of the time, it's saying.
We need...
Actually, wait, no, 16% of the time they should be making it to the Stanley Cup final, according to this.
Oh, that's gross.
And winning it 9% of the time.
That
this
hurts. 16% of the time they should have made the Stanley Cup Finals. They made it 0% of the time. They've not even.
That's why I wanted
close.
to get your guys' reaction to this. Yeah, because like in our mind, it's like no, there's like a 9% chance that they even make it past the second round.
So here's the thing: we need to find the metric that matters because it's not. You can't predict it because you can have the Edmonton Oilers with McDavid and Draisaitl and Nugent Hopkins as the top 3 power play guys. They have the best power play since it's ever been measured. They had a 33% power play, which has never happened.
Yeah.
Right? The best power play in the world ever since they started measuring the power play percentage on a team. Top 3 power play guys, the top 2 point scorers in the league regular season, highest goals. Right? They just crushed it offensively.
Yeah.
And they can't make the Stanley Cup Finals.
Well, something interesting that in this article as well I wanted to point out is that since they added John Tavares, the Leafs have averaged 95% shot at making the playoffs an 11.6% chance of winning it all, which is lower than what they're projected this year.
That's insane.
But like, so how do you feel about that? Do you feel like their chances are better this year because they got out of the second round, or worse because the model's saying that they have a worse chance than the last like 5 years?
Well, I got a question. What is the biggest indicator to make the playoffs? I think it might be goaltending. How good is your goalie?
I think making it to the Stanley Cup final is goaltending. I think making it to the playoffs is just like freaking everything. Like there's no
Good one,
because
yeah.
it's a long season.
Yeah.
It's a long season, right? It's 82 games. Everyone's gonna like find like you're not gonna have the same roster the whole time. Multiple goalies are gonna have to play. You can't just play the same team for 82 games.
You know what, Hayden? Your answer is correct. And that's why you can't predict it, because it is everything. It's how much do the players like each other? There's so many intangibles, right? It's like the chemistry on the team. If guys are vibing together, you know, how's the coach-player dynamic, right? Do they want to play for each other? Do they want to play for the coach? Do they want to go through a wall for him? Or is there any like behind-the-scenes stuff that's like hurting a team that you don't even know about? You could have the best players on the team, right? But one of them is like a complete jerk. And they don't get along, so then the whole team suffers.
Yeah.
You want to know my theory? I said in order to win the Stanley Cup, you need to be like the whole team needs to be in that like flow state, like Chippy talks about.
Yeah.
Where they're working as a cohesive unit, they're vibing, they're having fun, but they're also like dialed in, focused.
Yeah.
And I think that every time the Leafs have been in that mode, it gets ruined by the pressure and the knowledge of the history of the Leafs never making it in the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like
We're
They
self-sabotaging.
could be vibing, they're flowing going into playoffs, and then all of a sudden it hits them. Oh shoot.
It's the media.
We never do good in the playoffs.
The media is why we don't win the cup.
Yeah.
The media
Yeah, it
is
is. Oh.
constantly running smear campaigns against all the players.
It's if you don't know, it's the biggest psychological warfare on the mind, and that energy that gets put out by the media, by like that's that my whole thing with that Cut Bound song
yeah.
was to make that go viral.
Dude,
That,
it's
yeah.
a new psychological
You know,
warfare.
yeah, I know that. We know the
Right?
game. I know the game. I know this is a psychological warfare. So I was like, if I can make this everyone believe that we're gonna win,
Right.
and I get everyone singing this song and,
Yep.
and getting it and manifesting it with their words into the universe, we were gonna win the Stanley Cup. I was shocked when it didn't happen. I was like, my whole reality was like, this is gonna work. Like, we're gonna create this song,
Yep.
and we are gonna win the cup.
Maybe you're just a year early.
I think
Yeah.
it was a year early. I do think it was a year early. I
The
think
song can really take off this
the
year.
song needs to be played in the rink.
Dude, we need to
Song
be
needs to be played in the
pumping
league.
the Leafs tires day in and day out.
Everybody feel the bounce.
So we went for a pro skate, hung out with a couple NHL players, and what really surprised me is that we were just chilling, chatting, talking about social media, stuff like that. They are affected, and I mean, I wasn't too surprised by this. Like they're people; they're reading the comments.
What?
What,
just
what- when you say something really rude and 1,000 people upvote it and like it because it's funny and clever, this guy's reading it and be like, everyone hates me. I mean, he's just a person.
I'd say it depends on the player, but yes.
It does depend on but no, like everyone is susceptible to like negativity. It doesn't matter if you're a pro or not.
Yeah.
It's really tough.
Like Chippy says, it's all energy, right? And
Yes.
if they're sensing and only seeing a lot of the negative energy, then that's going to have a toll on them.
Yeah,
It
it's like
takes a
it's-
while to get mentally hardened to not let those, or to basically you just need to understand where that comment is coming from, and that it's not really about you; it's about the person who posted it. But these guys are pros. Are like all they focus on hockey. They're 20, and now they have the spotlight on them, and then people are just ruining their lives online,
Here's a
ruining
question.
their day.
I have a question for you guys. Do you think that this next up and coming generation, like the Bedards, the Fantillis, will be better at dealing with negativity online or worse because they grew up with it?
I think
It's-
they're going to be on it way more. I
It-
think
but
they're
that might
way
be
more
bad.
affected by it. That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying. They're-
because there's all kinds of studies saying how like too much social media time is causing teens to be like super depressed, and it's causing like it's all this fake.
you
know what I
can't have
mean?
Conversations. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's
Well, and they're always comparing themselves. Comparison is the thief of joy.
yeah.
Right? They're sitting there looking at other people's lives, thinking they're perfect, and that person that looks like they have a perfect life is doing the exact same thing, and they're just trying to make their life look perfect because they think everyone else's
It's
is.
like the Jack Links comparing to the better Bovin. Like, you know what I mean? It's if you compare yourself, it's like
Nah,
you're in your own.
I'm not
lane.
comparing myself to this beef jerky, right?
Jack,
I'm not a piece of meat.
no, Jack Links is like.
Oh,
I can't-
Jack
I
Links
can't
is
compete
depressed.
with Better
Oh,
Bovin. And
yeah,
it's like, but
that's
Jack Links, you serve a purpose, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
There are people out there that need you, Jack Links.
I like
Yeah.
the analogy.
And there's like this Better
You're
Bovin.
you are important too, Jack Links.
And Jack Links, we would love to have you.
On the
Try
pod.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you might not be as good as Better Bovine in some areas.
Yeah, but there's definitely areas where you're playing a lot.
Yeah, like
There's areas where
teriyaki
you're showing
flavor.
up.
Right? Better
There's
Bovine
areas
doesn't
where
have
you're
teriyaki.
showing up in more. You're playing more. You're getting
Yeah,
more ice.
A lot of ice time.
I would like to make the argument that I think not all of the younger players coming up, but a lot of them will actually be better prepared to like handle negative social
Yeah, like I think
media.
it's harder to be Better Bovine. I think it's harder because Better Bovine doesn't get played much. He does not. Like when he plays, it's such a big play, but like.
No, but I think they'll be because they grew up on it. They
Yeah,
know the they grew up with the mentality of like, well, everything that I put online or anyone puts online doesn't matter.
So
You know, like because they're not taking everyone's word for importance because they're used to
Well,
people
it's
like
you have to
saying dumb things
yeah,
online
you
all the
have to
time.
Understand that this online world is not like reality. Like,
and
that's what I mean. I
Says
think they'll-
online, it's like not what you're gonna say.
Like they keep it completely separate in my mind. Like if someone said you played like trash tonight,
Yep.
I think they're like, huh, whatever.
Like Coach
Yeah.
Chip, it's like Coach Chippy online versus when you meet me in person is going to be a complete
Exactly.
different person. Like when Bedard met me, you know what I mean? I was a complete different person than what I was being like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's completely different. Like
Yeah.
I'm like completely not, that's not a reality.
yeah.
Online's not reality.
Yeah.
Like there's zero reality online.
Well, going deeper into that story of like meeting the pros, and they're just talking about how they are affected by, like,
Like Keyboard Warrior would not say that to the pro to his face.
no, not at all.
You know what I'm saying?
Right?
Like that's not.
But
like,
so one of the players is talking about his teammate, and he said, I won't name names, just out of respect. He said his teammate, right after the game, right to his phone, and he's like cussing under his breath,
Right.
and he'd look over, like they just got off the ice, like he hasn't got his skates off yet,
Right.
And he'll look over, and this guy is like, oh, friggin' user 7399. Oh, what the right?
Yeah.
He's reading. He's getting carved in the Twitter comments because he served up a pizza, and it resulted in a goal against. And he's just reading them all. And
Right.
he said that every game this guy was like looking at these comments, and so yeah, some people it affects more than others.
Yeah. So that's what I think that the percentage of people that it's going to affect will go down as the younger players come up.
Right.
Because they're
yeah,
used.
it's gonna be more of a joke. Like I
Yeah.
think it's just like oh, it's just like yo, it's
This is just social media. It's not anything to do with hockey.
So one of these more veteran players, he said, "Oh, I don't have Twitter because I just deleted
The
it."
old people just
They
don't have it.
No, but talking to Shane Wright
Yeah.
when we were at the combine,
Mm-hmm.
he said he didn't have Instagram.
Shane Wright.
Yeah. Well, he said that when we came on.
Combine.
Was he at the combine?
Oh wait,
He
yeah.
didn't have Shane. You're right. You're right.
No, it was on the podcast.
It's on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said. Yeah, sorry, I was on the podcast. He said that he didn't have Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
He had an Instagram account, but he said he just deleted it from his phone.
Yeah.
Right. So they are taking breaks. I was talking to old Mitch Marner there, about a month ago,
Mm-hmm.
talking about TikTok, and I was asking him if he's seen your TikToks, and he's like, "Oh, I don't have TikTok." He's like, I don't need another account to see all the people saying how shit I am at my job."
Yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Paraphrase there, but I just laughed, and I was like, but he did see your videos.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, no.
Well,
He's
I
like,
met
I've seen his
Mitchie.
videos. He's like, but he's like, I don't have TikTok. So he's a younger player.
Mhm.
I think some of these guys probably just like,
Not really anymore. Like was he 26, 27?
yeah, but like,
That's not young. That's like 18, 19, 20, 21.
Fair.
Is young.
I'm talking like Marner. I would say is part of the last generation of like you didn't grow up on social media apps.
okay, we talked to Leo Carlson. He said he's 5 hours a day on TikTok.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. The new generation,
Yeah,
like basically the ones that are getting drafted now and for the next like 5-10 years,
Yep.
we're going to see a lot more activity on social media, and it's not going to affect them as much in terms of like their actual like game on the ice
yeah.
because they're used to it.
I really think there's some people that like they'll just delete them and say I'm just gonna say focus on the game. It
Mhm.
depends on the personality of the kids. So the kids
Yeah.
that can deal with it will deal with it, and the kids that can't, it's like, no, I'm out.
But that'll be I'm just saying it'll be a higher percentage of players coming up that do use it
yeah,
and that it doesn't affect them.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like anyone that does use it, they're like very selective about it, and it affects them a bit more on average than for the next generation, in my mind.
Fair.
I think. Because if you grow up, it's like you grew up watching reality TV or something. You're desensitized to it, or
Yeah,
Right.
you know?
yeah. It's like
Oh.
yeah, it's definitely a lot.
Whereas
You
if
understand it more.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, this is all a joke. This is all troll. This is all trend.
Yeah,
this
you
is
know what
all-
trolls are and what they're trying
Yeah.
to do. You understand it, so then you just
Yeah.
don't feed the trolls, right?
yeah,
Speaking of reality TV, Chippy, you brought up a fight with Logan Paul.
Oh yeah,
So what was this guy?
Dennis versus Logan Paul.
Give me the what is synopsis?
The
Of
headline.
what's going on?
I mean, yeah, like I don't follow it that closely, but I
Paint a little picture.
yeah.
Few
So like I
sentences.
just saw like this Dylan Dennis guy. He's a jiu-jitsu fighter.
Yep.
He's like one of the best jiu-jitsu artists in the world. Challenged Logan Paul. I guess they had beef.
Yep.
They've had like an ongoing Twitter beef. And then
How long has it been going on for?
I don't know, like years. Like
Oh,
at least
okay.
4 years. Like
Oh.
years. Like yeah, like Dylan Dennis has been calling out the influencer box. I don't know. Like it's like this whole influencer boxing scene where they're
Right. Okay.
calling out
he's-
MMA fighters. Like Jake
Yeah.
Paul's fighting MMA guys. He's been training boxing for 5 years.
I see
now.
that. Yeah.
And then it's like, I guess they got announced, and I guess Dylan Dennis is known for being like a trash talker, like a really good.
I
trash
scrolled his
talker.
Twitter feed for a while, and yeah, he goes low. He's a low blow
Yeah,
guy.
like so he's,
Yeah.
and I guess that's kind of what gets into it. Like when you're trying to sell a fight, like is there anything off limits? Because obviously, like Logan Paul just got engaged to his fiance, and then now Dylan Dennis is like,
what did he say?
Posting about his fiance every day.
He's just dragging her.
Yeah.
Like basically, yeah. He's like, it looks like he's in love with her, and he's posting pictures
Like with
of
other
her
with
all the
other,
time.
like her exes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like,
So here's my thought here, my takeaway. Did these guys just like go to Cabo for a weekend and sit down and write a script and like
So they
they
can
are just they're playing us.
millions.
It's
they're-
all a narrative.
Exactly.
the pay-per-views are gonna go.
They're
so
playing us
crazy.
all as fools. Like they know exactly what they're doing, and they basically have like, okay, this. Yes, you post this. Go after my wife. The more, the better. If it's working, dig harder. Because like this Dylan Dennis guy, he's getting paid for this fight. Yeah,
I don't think he's getting the pay-per-views though. I think Logan Paul is getting all the.
but
pay-per-views.
there's a contract in place. Is he just?
Yeah, but then apparently he's getting sued now, so the money he makes from the fight.
But is that lawsuit a part of the script?
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
Trust me, I'm all about scripts. I'm all about.
I think it's more of a like anything in life. I'm gonna say it's somewhere in the middle. between-
Somewhere in the middle.
like so, it's not as much of like this built up hate as people think,
Yeah.
but it's not like everything's
like
planned.
he's like airing
It's-
him out, calling him like, "Yo, you scammed your fans." Like it just
I
seems
know,
a
I think
little
it's-
too like.
I think based
real.
on like how these like influencers and stuff operate, it's
Yeah.
something more like, hey, we're probably gonna let's have a fight in 2025 or 2024.
Yeah.
And they're like, just let's go at each other for a couple years, build it up, and it'll be a bit,
we need to really add fuel to this beef because
yeah.
the more personal it is, the more eyeballs they get, the more money they're going to make. I got to think there's like a side
Like,
deal.
I think
like he's
that if-
getting 1% of all the pay-per-view or something
about-
like that.
God, I mean, he sold the whole fight. I mean,
That's what I'm
he is
saying,
going-
right?
I
This
mean,
is
It's
important.
low. It is. It's low.
Think about everything that we've said where it's like, if something isn't worth your energy, why would you put into it? I feel like someone like Logan Paul, who's like been pretty successful with business,
He knows what he's doing.
wouldn't put in the effort. And
No.
like, if this was like really a personal attack on him that offended him,
Yeah.
then he'd just be like, okay, well, I'm not going to fight you.
But here's the thing. It's like
You know, like he could take the higher ground. I think.
everything comes at a price.
It's like
And
they
he's
gotta
really
get the ring
selling
and
his
fight him.
soul.
Like, if you don't fight him now, it's like you're kind of like.
Oh no, that fight's happening, but like they're selling their souls to get the views and to get the money. Like I don't agree with like
Well, it's like now it comes
Personal
into
attacks
when
and
you're
all that
selling.
stuff.
Yeah.
When it's a fight, though.
Yeah.
Is there anything off limits? Like I get like. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, how do you offend?
Well, I'm saying
how do you
that-
offend this person the most?
I'm saying that I don't think that there is limits because basically they're going into it with the desire to make it a bigger fight than what it is.
from a psychological
Yeah, exactly.
standpoint,
That's what I'm saying.
the more hate that is brought to one of those people,
Mm-hmm.
the more someone is invested and wants to see them get beat. So that's essentially what they're trying to do. They're taking a negative and okay, let's get people really like against one or against the other. It makes them invested and they want to watch the fight and pay to watch the fight because that person had it
You
coming.
want to see this person?
Oh, he had it
Yeah,
coming.
that's how
I
you-
need to see him
It's
defeated.
basically like what Jeremy and I are saying
Yeah.
is basically nothing is like real, just like online, right? Like it's like
I
nothing's
as
off.
well said that.
Nothing's off limits.
It's just
because-
WWF where
because
they
you
like
can
they
say
write
whatever you
this-
want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so in a sense, okay, this guy
It's all a game.
says something terrible about Logan Paul's fiance, right? And then he sits there and he's like, "Oh, I hate that guy. What a genius. This is awesome." Like in a way he's angry because it happened, but also like, "Oh, this is great. This is going to get so many likes and shares." Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's like he's tearing himself apart emotionally. Is it worth it? Right? Because they're gonna make money and they know. But like for me, if I'm fighting, you were talking about what's offline, right? Or what is off the table? What can't you do when because you're about to beat someone's face?
Yeah, I'm asking the question to you guys.
Yeah.
What is there anything that's off limits when you're
What's off
when
limits,
you're about to
yes.
fight someone and like potentially get in the ring and
Exactly.
die?
So like, say I'm about to
And
fight someone.
die.
Me-
Yeah, that's a complete possibility when you're fighting anyone.
for
Yeah,
me,
but it's
if
not the end goal.
No,
No, but when
You're not
when
fighting
you
to the
accepted
death.
a fight,
It's not
You are
gladiators.
signing a paper.
It's not the Roman
document before
Empire.
You enter that thing and saying you could die.
Yeah, but you're not. That's no one's trying to kill each other.
so as a coach,
I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's 100% a possibility.
yeah, so is driving your car every day.
Yeah.
asteroid might come into space and smoke me right in the back of the head. Done. Bye bye.
It's a possibility.
I get
I'm
what Chippy's
saying
saying.
a fight is a greater possibility
Yes, you're correct.
of a death than I think driving car. Maybe not though. I don't know.
No,
if-
definitely.
Wait. I think that's not a fair comparison on Hayden's part.
Yeah,
A demolition
it's
derby.
like, yeah, it's
If you're in a demolition
yeah, it's a
derby, you're
tough
driving your
comparison. You're
car at someone else's car and trying to smash them up. Maybe
exactly.
that's-
That's exactly.
But you're not trying to murder them. You're just trying to smash their car up.
Yeah, it's the intent, right?
You want your car to outlast their car.
Yeah, it's exactly. So that's exactly. That was better. Thank you for catching that. And Hayden's trying to be slick there, and do a comparison that doesn't make any sense to the situation.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Thank you, Jared.
Here's my take on it. If I were a fighter, and as a coach, even like in hockey, I teach my kids. I teach it's about respect. Respect your opponent. We don't want an easy win. We don't want to easily beat those. We don't want to play a bad team. We want to play the best team because when we play the best team, that brings out the best in us. We want them to try their hardest because that.
But there's difference. I'm saying there's
Right?
difference when it's like a discipline, it's a fight, and
Gotcha.
you respect the opponent, right?
So I'm going to take
what
that same
happens
principle.
when you don't respect the opponent and you actually have hate for the opponent and want to injure them?
Then I think
That's what I'm saying.
Then in that
That's what I'm
case,
saying.
I think you've gone wrong. You've gone down the wrong path. Because wouldn't it be like my approach to if it's a fight, it's a physical, like who is the best? I'm going to try my hardest. I'm going to outwork. I'm going to outtrain. I'm trying to outthink, be stronger and smarter than my opponent and better skilled, predict their moves, train,
And
study.
and what's the end
study
goal
more.
of that?
The end goal is to prove that you
To-
are
to
the
beat them?
superior
And
fighter.
How do you beat them?
That you're more skilled. You're gonna fight.
To injure them? The way you win the fight is to injure the other person.
You outsmart them. You outwit
you
them.
injure them.
You predict their moves, and you
You injure them more than they injure you.
Well, no, not necessarily. You can get them in a chokehold, and they have to tap out. You're not really injuring them.
You could kill them. That's what I'm saying.
If it's boxing, oh yeah, okay, but I'm not going in there. I'm going in there trying
to
to
injure them.
be the best performer,
Okay, there's a difference though.
to be more
Chippy.
skilled.
It's like you're trying to win a fight. You're not trying to inflict as much pain as possible on them. You're trying to
Okay.
win the
Are
fight.
you not? Is it not? Was that not the point of a fight? Is
So-
to inflict as much pain as possible on
so
the opponent
You
and
could
have the least amount of pain inflicted on you? Is that not the point of a
you
fight?
could look at it that way if you want to go down a darker path. I need
I'm
to
saying
inflict
when,
the
when
most
it's not
pain.
about it's not about the sport and it's about two people fighting that don't like each other and actually
Yeah.
hate each other. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Well,
So
but
that's what's creating.
what-
That's what
Jeremy and I are
But
saying.
they don't
is-
have to. Okay.
I don't-
If I'm no, let me hold on. If I'm fighting someone, I don't have to hate them. I can respect them. I can respect their discipline.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I'm saying that's not the case in this fight. I'm saying when it's not.
Oh,
Like
I
that.
thought you were asking us.
No, I'm saying when it's not that case.
Well, I don't know.
And when,
I don't know
when,
Dennis
when,
and Logan
when
Paul.
these two people actually
Yeah.
hate each other.
Yeah. They could. Yes, they could hate each other.
So
I thought you were asking
okay,
us.
I'm
What's
not
off
operating
limits?
under the principle that they hate each other because I think it's all they're doing it for the money. So
Well,
whatever they're saying they hate each other is because it's
going
more
off
money.
of going off of your perspective. It's somewhere in the middle of like, did they
Yeah.
plan it or not? They could end up through like,
No, we were starting to talk about like fighting. When you're fighting, what's the point of a fight? That's where we got to.
yes,
I'm
and
saying
I
the
was
point
trying
of
to.
a fight is to injure the person as much as possible.
Yes.
Is that
and
not the point of a fight?
no.
No.
It can be if you want it to be.
Yeah.
It can be.
Yeah.
But it can also be to just express
An
your talent, your skill, your strength, and try to defeat the person.
I would call that. I would call that's a
An actual
that's a demo. That's a
I'd say
exhibition.
A fight
Right? That's an
outside.
exhibition. I would agree. I would say that would be an exhibition. You both have respect for each other. You're not trying to. But when it's an actual fight,
So an unorganized fight, yeah, the point is to injure him as much as possible.
Yeah,
An organized fight
yes.
where it's a
so
sport.
is it not to do as much damage as possible in a boxing match? Like I don't like that.
That's how
do
you
get
win the
points?
fight.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But that's not the intent of injuring them. You could get points, and it's not. You know what I'm saying? Like you're
No,
connecting
so
with
punching
punches.
someone in the face is not intending to injure them.
I get what you're saying, but the point of the fight is to win the fight, not to
Yeah.
permanently injure someone or kill
yeah,
someone.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
Exactly.
like. There's a difference.
I'm saying it's
if your
a
mind-
possibility though.
If yes, it is a
You're saying
possibility.
It is a
it's
possibility,
unlikely.
yeah.
You're saying it's like unlikely, and I'm like,
So if you're entering with that ill
disagree.
intent,
I never said it's.
I
like,
would say
unlikely.
it's not healthy.
Yeah.
It's not healthy to hate the person.
fighting anyone isn't healthy. Like it's a fight.
It depends. Like Bruce
It's
Lee.
never healthy to fight anybody.
Bruce Lee
It's
and
never
Jack.
gonna be a healthy thing to do. Like,
Okay,
it's not.
but Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, Kung Fu. There's so many disciplines that teach all kinds of
It's a
respect.
discipline, but they say don't fight. They say don't use them.
Yes.
They don't want. They do.
Yeah.
because they're
Now
doing
we're
it under
talking
an
about fight,
organized
though.
sense.
Yeah.
We're not talking about a discipline.
But they still
I
compete.
understand
They still
respecting a
train.
discipline and understand. I understand that completely.
Yeah.
But we're talking about two people that are fighting.
Yes. In an organized, like planned event, so they can respect their opponent and fight them, and at the end say that was
In
good.
this case,
If
there's
it-
no respect.
If
That's
it
what I'm
was,
saying.
if
There's
the
no
intent was
respect
to injure each other as much as possible, why do they have a ref?
Yeah. They
You
just
know?
give each other knives.
It's an organized fight.
Why don't they just give each other knives, every weapon, clubs, bats?
Yeah, like
So I
gladiator
don't
style.
think it is the point of the fight.
Mhm.
To
So
injure.
what's the point? What's the point of the fight then?
Entertainment and if you do have, like, say there are people that genuinely have beef with each other, it's a way to let it out in an organized way that can make some money in the process.
Yeah, I'd say the point of this fight is just to make each person the most amount of money as possible.
Yeah.
And to get your name out there, to become famous.
But
right?
you keep switching up what we're talking about, right? You're talking about this fight. I'm talking about a fight in general.
A bar fight?
Not
I'm
an
talking about
organized fight.
I'm talking about just
Okay.
a fight.
So I get in a bar
general.
fight. The point of
What's the point of the fight?
the point of a bar fight, like I'm in the street, someone's coming at me. I am fighting to protect myself or to maybe protect whoever I'm with, and to not get injured, to not get hurt.
Let's
Right?
be real.
So I'm defending myself. That would be the point of that fight.
Outside of an organized fight, the first thing you do is not fight.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You do everything you can
if
to
I
not
fi-
fight.
if I find myself in a fight, which I haven't since I don't know, maybe 20 years old,
yeah.
but any fight I've been in, it was the point of the fight was to not get hurt or to stop people from hurting my friends that were
defense.
in the fight. Yeah, defense, right? I don't want to get hurt, and I don't want other people to get hurt. But I wasn't trying to inflict as much damage as possible on that other person. I was just trying to stop them from punching someone, right? Or
Yeah.
and sometimes you just got to outpower them, and then they see, oh, you're stronger than I,
Well,
and I will back off now.
In an organized boxing match,
You have a
are
point.
we not trying to injure it? Like,
Okay, where are you going with this?
I know.
We're
You
not
keep
trying
on going back to this thing.
I
What are
don't-
you
we're
trying to say?
You're arguing your point. I'm gonna stick
Yeah.
on my side.
Okay.
I'm not gonna give up on my point.
Okay, so let's
You
say
keep
okay.
arguing your side.
Let's
I'm
just
saying the point of a fight is to inflict as much possible damage on the other person.
okay. Let's just.
And
I'm
you're
gonna,
saying it's not,
I'm-
and I'm disagreeing. I think that's exactly what a boxing match is.
I'm going to go along
Just
with
to
you.
inflict
I'm going
as
to say
much
yes.
damage as
Yes.
possible.
You're trying to kill the next person.
You're trying to inflict as much damage as possible,
Yeah.
which could
Okay.
result in death. Yes,
Okay.
you could get one punch to the temple and you could drop and you could die.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
That's a possibility, but that's not the goal. The goal is to win the fight.
All right.
That's what I'm saying.
And how do you win the fight?
By being a better fighter, getting more points. Boxing is all points based. So
I'm going to tell you that
Inflict as more damage than the other person.
I have watched a lot of Mike Tyson like highlights, and when I'm watching them, I wasn't looking to see how bloody or if the guy died. I was noticing like his movement, his skill, the power of each punch. Like it was like a spectacle watching
it's
this, right?
It's like an art form, a skill.
Exactly.
Yeah.
His ability to move
Have
better
you
than the
heard
person.
his
when you're- when you're-
mindset was going into those fights?
When you're delivering a body
Oh,
check.
but
in
Mike
hockey-
Tyson was lost.
Eh, Jer?
he was a beast.
When you're delivering a hit in hockey,
Yeah.
are you trying to hurt the person or are you trying to get the puck?
Right, and here we go. Some kids.
When you're fighting a person in hockey
no,
and you drop the gloves, what are you trying to do, Hayden?
You're trying to hurt them because you're that's an actual
angry.
confrontation. You know,
That's what a fight is. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what the point of a fight is.
here's the thing, Chippy. I'm gonna throw that right back at you. And in all of these circumstances, no matter what, you are trying to show that you are better, stronger than the other person. That's it. When you're in a fight in
Yeah.
hockey, you're not trying to murder the other person. You're not trying to send them to the hospital. You just want to show that you're better than them. That's what you want to do. It's an ego thing. You're into this fight or flight. Your body is taken over, and all you care about is getting the best of that person. And it's not by sending them to the hospital or giving them permanent brain damage, right? You would feel terrible if that were to happen. Most people would feel absolutely terrible if they one punched and now this kid is unconscious and brain dead. Like no one would get joy from that. Not many, unless you're an absolute psycho. But in that moment, you want to be the victor. You just want to win. You want to show your physical dominance over someone and feel like you're better than them, more superior than them. And you do that by outpowering them in whichever way form, right?
that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's it's not to inflict pain. It's just to show you're better.
So punching someone in the face isn't to inflict pain.
That's just what it's got to do.
That's the result, not the goal.
Yeah.
That's all I was saying is that there's a difference between what the intended
You know what?
outcome is.
When I take a
feel like-
slap
think
shot-
I think it varies. I think it varies on the person. I think it's case by case.
Hey.
I think
When you take a slap
can't
shot,
speak
are you
for
not trying to
someone
hit
else other
that
than
puck
yourself, so
as
I don't
hard
know.
as you possibly can? You're trying to bend that. You're trying to damage that puck. Why are you hitting that puck?
have you
so
never
hard?
hit someone in trying to hurt someone?
You're not trying to
Have you-
score a
have you
goal.
never-
Yeah, sure, you might score a goal, but you're just trying to damage the puck. You're trying to inflict as much pain on that puck as possible. I'm just kidding.
I don't know. I've had times where you're trying to hit someone to hurt them.
Yes.
I've been there.
Yes, there is that time when you're filled with emotion and rage, and you're not. Yeah,
Yeah, and that's Like I would say that's when you're in a ring and it's you versus the other person. I would say you have a rage and you have emotion.
it's emotional.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's what sells it, and they know.
Yep. All right. Anything else? Talking preseason
even know-
hockey.
I don't even know.
We're
what
talking
else we
preseason
gotta talk
hockey?
about.
How long has this pod been?
It's been almost
Hour and
2 hours.
Oh boy,
Almost 2 hours.
Let's wrap it up. Hayden, you got one last thing?
Are we
ready
going to
for
do the most Canadian thing?
Oh, most Canadian. Let's do. I haven't even chosen. That's all right.
We were gonna do most Canadian weekend activity.
Most Canadian weekend activity. This is a tough one because there's so many options. And what defines the most Canadian?
Mm-hmm.
What really brings in?
I feel like it's all.
I feel I need to like plant a few seeds here, right? Get a few thought starters. What really does make Canadians? And and like let's think about what most Canadians actually do
like
on
it'd
the
just be
weekend.
stereotypes.
We could do stereotypical,
That's kind of what.
but I think it's got to come from the heart.
Yeah, I think it's got to be.
And
like,
can we say playing hockey?
I mean, you could, yeah, but
Playing hockey,
It's
most
gonna be
Canadian.
like hockey players that play hockey would say that. So it's like
Fair.
now it's like most. It's like are you doing? That's what I'm saying. Is it like what you do?
Because we're not talking pastime, like
It's
a
actually
pastime.
like
Yeah.
anything that a Canadian does would be Canadian, right?
There's so many directions I want to go with this. It's hard to pick one. Can we think out loud before we pick? Or
I'd say I'm gonna pick
I feel like you just gotta pick one.
Hayden's
coming-
ready.
like,
Hayden's
come-
ready. Okay.
coming together with friends to watch Hockey Night in
game.
Canada.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's didn't think of that one.
watching
that
hockey night in Canada, dude. I think you just won. This brings me back
Because like you don't have to be a hockey player to go and hang out with friends or family and watch the game. You know.
So one like a very nostalgic or like core memory thing I have is my dad. He was in a basement apartment. My parents were separated. Go out at his place on the weekend. My neighbor Dave, he lived above. Him and his wife would always watch Hockey Night in Canada. They had a better TV than us, nice sound system.
Yeah, you go to the friend
right?
with the best TV or the best like setup.
7 p.m. would roll around. We'd open up the door, the little basement door that goes up the stairs into his spot, and we'd all chill, like me, my dad, my brother, and sometimes my sister.
On your best behavior.
Oh, dude, no, we would. We just watched the game. It was the playoffs, right? Playoffs.
Yeah.
Not every regular season game. But
Yeah,
when the
yeah.
playoffs were on, and then the neighbor the neighbor would walk over too with his wife. So we had like multi-generations, like the kids, my dad, Dave was a little bit older, and then the neighbors were like in their 80s, right?
Yeah,
And
I feel
we
like
just
everyone has a memory of
Oh,
watching
it's the best.
Hockey Night in
we'd
Canada.
all just watch hockey together, and it brought
Yeah.
us together for sure.
Yeah,
Right,
so that's mine.
Nice pick. Nice pick.
Chip, what are you thinking? Not a lot?
I
Just
don't. I
kidding.
don't ever think too much.
I'll go
Exactly,
next.
yeah.
I'll go next.
All right,
You go.
Jared's ready.
Give me road hockey.
I had that too. You know what's funny is I was going to
hard.
say road hockey before Hockey Night in Canada. I was going to say that.
Yeah, I mean-
because I was like, that's two things.
I hate like I wanted to say camping because camping is just such a great way to get with the family and like that's very important to me. But like road hockey, there's so many times where it's like it brings the neighborhood together. I'm just out there, they're playing, and like a few kids come out. Kids that don't even play hockey play road hockey. You know what I mean? It's like if there's kids around, you give them a stick, and then you start going at it, right? And you can get sometimes the parents jump in, right? I mean, it's kind of a dying pastime, to be honest. Like there's rules. Some counties say no road hockey.
I don't think I've seen any road hockey.
I'm saying.
ever.
I know it's not as
played it growing
popular.
up.
Nobody's yelling car anymore. People are too scared to let their kids go down the road and play. Like
My second, if I were to make a second pick, although
wait,
I
wait,
don't wanna
let's get
wait.
Chip, you
I
go
don't wanna-
first.
It's probably not his, but you can go, Chip, if you have yours.
I would go just cottage.
cottage, yeah.
A little more.
Yeah.
A little more
Broad.
broad than just hockey. So I think cottage, just a cottage weekend.
Very
Canadian
Canadian.
cottage weekend in the summer. Mix it in with a patio before you get to the cottage. And then
Oh.
it's like you can add a lot to a cottage weekend.
My second pick would have been, like late night snowball fights.
Oh, a snowball fight. A snowball fight.
Yeah,
That is
my
like that,
second
and
one.
that
because it's like every kid growing up has a snowball fight. You know.
oh man, that is more Canadian. That's very Canadian.
I would say
I mean, it's also
building
Finnish,
I would
Russian.
say
Yeah. But like when you think of Canada, you think of snow, and you think
I would say a Saturday morning snowman, building a snowman.
It's like
the
just
front lawn.
snow day. It's a snow day,
oh yeah,
right?
love a
'Cause
snow day.
On a snow day, you've
I
got
mean, it's
the
a weekend,
forts. Yeah, weekend activity. You're right.
Weekend activity.
No snow days on the weekend. Yeah. No, that is snowman, building a fort.
A blizzard, like
That's true, man.
oh, okay. I'll just say like outdoor hockey, pond hockey.
Pond hockey's amazing. Pond hockey's amazing. This is hard.
Pond hockey.
We're just reminiscing.
Pond hockey on a Saturday.
All right, let's throw in our final picks because like do I want to take road hockey? I'm taking road hockey. I'm taking road hockey. I do love a snowball fight though. That's very good.
I'm still going Hockey Night in Canada with the friends or family.
I'm gonna go pond hockey.
Pond hockey, love it. We did all pick hockey.
Yeah,
It's very
makes sense.
Canadian. It's
Yeah.
very Canadian.
Uh-huh.
Pond hockey, and
What-
then cottage in the summer. I
Yeah.
got two. I got a winter and a summer.
You're on the water one. You're on it or you're in it.
I'm playing both. I got the winter and the summer pick.
All right, let's talk real quick about preseason hockey. Bedard,
First goal.
first goal.
Yeah,
People are going crazy, commenting, analyzing, reading into it. Like, guys, until now, a lot of people didn't even realize preseason hockey existed.
yeah.
They wouldn't even watch. Like I think so. I wanted to watch not this game, but the game before. It was like Chicago versus Dallas or something. It's not even on the air. You can't even watch it. Cameras are not even turned on for this game. Like you cannot watch it. It's not broadcast anywhere unless it's like a Toronto game or like a top 5.
Yeah, like they're selling out the barn in the Toronto and the Chicago.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And then like you got like Anaheim versus
insane.
like
They're charging $200 for a preseason ticket in
No,
Toronto.
right.
Oh, yes, dude.
Yeah.
So a neighbor said, "Oh, I wanted." Sammy's reading a text. So like our neighbor wants to take her husband to the preseason Toronto versus Montreal game. Is $300 a ticket good? And I was like, three
No,
hundred.
it is not. No.
I was like, where's he sitting? Front row? No, it's in the 300s. No, no,
insane.
Yeah.
because they might not even have
It must have been
any.
resale, but still.
Still, but like,
Yeah.
who's paying 300 for nosebleeds in a preseason game?
Because
where
people
Matthews-
don't know that they're not even like the preseason games aren't
Well,
the
it's just
same.
all these people in Toronto want to do something.
I guess. Yeah, you want to go to a game in your short.
Toronto's gonna sells out regardless, so people buy them and resell them for a profit, right?
It's insane.
Yeah.
I told her don't buy
There
it.
should be a rule against that, to be honest. Like Ticketmaster, come on.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Are you taking anything away from the performances of the players in the preseason? Like Bedard, he basically gets like a point each game.
His honestly more impressive than his goal was him undressing one of the defensemen. He he did the classic McDavid. He did the look off like he's going to pass even though no one's there.
Done that one.
He did it on Morgan Riley. Come on.
Behind the back, no.
No,
Wasn't
behind
same
the back.
move. Wasn't
Oh,
the same move.
No,
Wasn't
no.
even close to the same move,
Okay,
Hayden.
relax. I'm
You
saying
came at me. You came
the
at me. I'm giving that same energy back.
the body language of Bedard in making looking like the pass and then going the opposite way. It was the exact same look and positioning. He just did a toe drag differently.
No, he went behind
I know.
his skate.
I'm just saying the art of it where you're like doing the look off then pulling the move, that looked McDavid like to me.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, I think every part of his game.
I wasn't saying it was the exact same move joint by joint or whatever. but-
Replay it. We'll replay it on the pod.
He's had a few highlights of undressing guys, but he doesn't result in the goals. Those looked really good. His first goal was an empty net, and I think it was also a power play on an empty net, or something like that. But it's like a preseason game, so he did look.
I also think he could find another level still. I think he's
of
still
course.
holding back a little
He's
bit.
getting like 2 points a game.
I don't think he's holding back, but it's like he's finding his place. You know what I mean?
He's getting comfortable. Like,
Yeah.
just getting out. Like, just
There's a
terms
lot happening until he feels like everything like makes sense to him and like he understands
He's playing
what
against
works.
men.
What
I think the
doesn't.
biggest difference is like he's not playing against 18-year-olds and kids his own age. It's like he's playing against 28-year-olds.
Yeah.
The leader of preseason points right now. Anyone know?
Give me the team.
It's
Give me the team. That'll help.
Calgary, I think.
Calgary.
Flames. I think it's Calgary Flames.
If it's not, you really just threw a wrench.
Calgary. I don't even think I can name 3 guys on Calgary.
That's fair. So what I find is
Huberdeau?
no, you don't know.
He won't be playing.
What I find is always in the preseason, because I used to do like these drafts and stuff, like when I was in high school, and I would always I'd find the preseason stats, and I'd see who was the leader in the preseason, and I'm going to take them as like my sleeper pick, because obviously they're performing really well. But the thing is, most of the stars barely play in the preseason.
And
They
if
play
they do,
one
they
game.
don't try. Or they get limited ice time.
So
Yeah.
like the big boys are getting 1 or 2 games, and they might give like 7 games to some guy and give him first line minutes.
Yeah.
But then once it actually comes down, it's like, okay, yeah, you made the team because you can perform, but then you're on the 4th line. So
Yeah.
then the stats don't matter at all. Anyways, the leader is Matt Coronado. He's 20 years old.
Definitely wouldn't have known.
Never heard of him.
I was going to guess Connor Timmins.
But I like
Right.
that. I like
Yeah,
Coronado. We like that.
Coronado, 20 years old. I think he's on Calgary, and he's Team USA. Seems like a good point player. So I think he might make the squad. A few of our guys, friends of the pods, Leo Carlson, trying to get a spot on the.
How many has he got?
I haven't looked up at everyone's point totals. Logan Stankoven.
Oh, yeah.
His
Stanky.
first preseason game, he got the first goal of the game, and he got the last goal of the game.
Nice.
In like a 7-2 win.
What a beauty.
So he's making a good. I sent him a DM, said, "How's it feeling out there?" He said that he's feeling good, trying to get a spot on the team. Love to see it. So I hope he
I
does.
think he'll find minutes probably. He'll probably play like 10, 15 games at least, I would say.
Oh yeah, he's got it now. Yeah,
Like he's got to be at that point.
they didn't give him a look last year.
Yeah.
but I think this year he's definitely getting a call up. He's going to get a look. He's going to get like. You
And if
said.
he does well in that, he could end up playing the rest
he's
of
going
the
to
year.
do-
Plays like a DeBrinket.
Yeah, he's a spark plug. Goes hard.
40 goals for Stanky.
Oh,
40 goals.
maybe his third season.
I'd say maybe like 15, 20 goals and
Hey,
like 50,
what team is he
60
on?
points.
Dallas WHL Player of the Year.
He's nasty, dude.
Two years ago, WHL Player of the Year. Last year it was Bedard. So I would love to see Dallas, Chicago, Stankoven gets the call up. You're going against Bedard. It's
Yeah.
like they've got some history, right?
I would love to
and
see.
they played on the World Juniors together.
Yeah, Stanky's disgusting.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good player.
Well, when I watched the World Juniors, I
He was,
confused
like,
Stankoven for
noticeably-
Bedard a couple times.
Yes,
I did too.
crafty. He's powerful.
I did as
In
well.
terms of Leafs preseason, what have you guys thought? Have you watched much? I watched the first 2 games,
Nasty
but then I was
Knies?
in Nashville, so I didn't watch the next few.
Nasty Knies is
Yeah.
like unbelievable.
Matt Nyes and Minton are they've got some chemistry. Minton.
Yeah, he's been pretty
Basically,
good.
Minton has been setting up most of Nyes' goals, and then Nyes has been setting up some goals for Minton.
What about
Ethan Cowan has been doing really well.
Easton?
Yeah, sorry, named after the hockey company. R.I.P.
He's on the team. He's
Easton
not
Cowan?
traveling with the team or something. I saw he wasn't traveling to.
Well, he played. He was
Not
only meant
so.
to play one game.
Yeah.
And then they played him a second one because he was playing so well. But generally, when the Leafs have their prospects that they're not probably going to make the team, they let them go back to their home club in the OHL pretty early, like because they don't want to take him away from that camp. So he's probably back in London.
Yeah.
I thought he was still with the team. They were saying.
Maybe he is, but it's not typical to be. Like usually they'll let them go back to their camp. But Greg,
Yeah, Gregor's been
he's been pretty fast. Like he's an interesting pickup.
Yeah. So still a lot of I don't know, question marks there. I don't know what the final team is going to look like, and like we'll be honest, it's going to change a little.
Yeah,
They'll switch things around.
Basically, don't take anything. Take everything for a grain of salt until the last like 2 games of the preseason. That's usually when they're like trying to figure out, okay, who's the bottom 6 going to be?
Yeah.
And it's like that's the 2 games where they're really like making a final decision, and you can kind of read into it a little bit more for the last 2 games. But even then, it's never locked in.
I
But it's just fun to watch. I've been enjoying just having hockey to watch.
Oh, yeah.
I've watched like so many of the highlight packs for the preseason game just to see some hockey.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exciting for sure. All right, well, let's wrap it up. I just realized it's I got to leave and be on the ice in like 15 minutes. So
Easton Cowan has an extended stay with the Leafs
ooh, extended. That's exciting.
When was that?
today. Hockey news.
Whose
There we
spot is
go.
he going to
Fraser
take?
Minton invited to Gravenhurst retreat, and Easton Cowan earns extended stay. during
Oh,
Maple
see,
Leafs
Fraser Minton, right? I'm saying.
Yeah.
Him and Nyes are doing really well together. So they might have like a young fourth line. Imagine that, like that amount of
What
speed.
about Reeves?
Oh, Revo's
What
gonna
about
be
he can
there.
watch from the press
No,
box.
he can't.
He's probably going to play
Reeves is gonna be
half the games.
Reeves
I
is
think.
just a beauty to have out there. Just like no one takes any liberties.
You go like Reeves, Nyes, and Minton. So you got like the skill, and then like the
Could be very realistic. Yeah.
yeah, like some
But I think
power.
I think Gregor might get a shot though, because he can play the penalty kill as well. So they kind of need.
You got to be ice in
someone.
15.
Yeah, I got to basically leave. Yeah,
Okay.
Okay, well we'll wrap it up. Then.
I got coach. I got to go coach.
That was a fun spiritual
was a
pod,
wild-
boys.
yeah.
That was
Hour
great.
51. We started
That
out
was a journey.
with
Yeah.
some spiritual stuff.
Thanks for tuning in.
We'll see you next week. Let us know in the comments. What are you digging? What do you want to see more of? You got questions?
Don't
Ask
think
them.
just flow.
Thanks to Slick Ricky for sponsoring the pod.
Yeah, Hayden reads all the comments on like Spotify, YouTube, all that stuff, and
Yep.
maybe like if you want to hear more of something, like just leave feedback, and we want to make this pod better every single time. So I'd love to see what you guys are really connecting with. What do you want to hear more of? That type of thing, right?
Yeah.
Help us be the best that we can be.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty,
If you say something funny, I'll share it on the pod if I laugh.
tell me a joke.
All right, cheers.
Bye.
Gonna change the world with my hockey stick. Gonna make a real difference. Feed the poor and heal the sick.